Chapter 1762. Shangwan Lei was carried away in a sorry state. This farce ended here. The Purple Flame sect elders hiding in the dark all revealed themselves, revealing smiles as they arrived before Xiao Chun. This time, Shangwan Lei lost. Xiao Chun used 2 fingers to catch the Divine Firmament sect's consummate technique, the Divine Firmament 9 changes. The sharpness of the Purple Flame sect was completely suppressed. Most importantly, the elders could tell that Shangwan Lei's foundation was unstable. From today onward, the Purple Flame sect no longer had to worry about a strong opponent like Shangwan Lei. Furthermore, all this was due to Xiao Chen's efforts, first and second. Naturally, these sect elders were grateful to Xiao Chun for helping out, promising him all sorts of benefits on the spot. Some were even more direct, asking Xiao Chun if he wanted to stay in the sect and hold a post. Xiao Chun responded calmly, politely rejecting all sorts of benefits. "Martial Uncle Xiao, won't you reconsider? You can even be a guest official. I believe the sect master will agree." The few old men took the sect rules very seriously, addressing Xiao Chun as Martial Uncle Xiao. They did not dare to mess up seniority. "Many thanks. I will be leaving in another month. I still have important matters to attend to." "That is a pity." Seeing Xiao Chun like this, the elders did not press the issue. They performed cupped fist salutes and took their leave. After the crowd left, Ling Yu exclaimed excitedly, "Martial Uncle, how did you do it?" "You caught Shangwan Lei's saber with 2 fingers." The scene just now had caused a great shock and impact to many people. However, only Ling Yu dared to put down his pride and ask without any fear. Divine Firmament 9 changes, a Dao tool, and a Berserk Shangwan Lei. Yet, Xiao Chun caught such a ferocious and tyrannical saber strike with only 2 fingers. This was simply unrealistic, like a dream. "Do you want to learn?" Xiao Chun asked with a smile. "What?" This startled Ling Yu. Then, he exclaimed in pleasant surprise, "Yes, naturally. Martial Uncle is willing to teach me?" Xiao Chun smiled faintly and said, "I am your martial uncle in name. After all, teaching you some secret techniques is nothing." "Thank you, martial uncle." Ling Yu expressed his gratitude solemnly, nearly kneeling to Xiao Chun with a respectful expression. Xiao Chun waved his hand, indicating that he didn't have to be so courteous and care about etiquette. "This secret skill is called the telepathic finger. You definitely won't be able to learn it in a short time. I will first teach you the initial version of the telepathic finger. After that, I will tell you the subsequent variations." There were 2 versions of the telepathic finger, and it had gone through many changes to achieve its current effect. Xiao Chun definitely could not succeed in one go. First, he told Ling Yu about the cultivation method that the Flame Rock Sovereign once told him, letting Ling Yu comprehend it on his own. A few days later, when Ling Yu more or less understood the profoundness, Xiao Chun taught Ling Yu the secrets and profoundness of using one's body as a cauldron. Later on, whether or not Ling Yu could gain a comprehensive understanding and comprehend it thoroughly would depend on his own luck. Given Ling Yu's talent, Xiao Chun felt that it should not be a problem. As for Xiao Chun, he did not fall behind in his cultivation either. Right now, he had 2 cultivation techniques that he needed to cultivate: the Ice Feather Divine Incantation and the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art. Back in Dragon Flame City, Xiao Chun had already cultivated the Ice Feather Divine Incantation to the peak of the 3rd layer. Inside the cultivation room, Xiao Chun inserted medial Great Spirit Jades into the Spirit Gathering formation. Then, he started cultivating the Ice Feather Divine Incantation. The cold chi in the room condensed into thin ice that looked like feathers dancing around, looking very pretty. After circulating a great cycle, snow-like spiritual energy continuously poured into the white chi whirlpool in Xiao Chen's dantian. After that, the chi whirlpool turned it into veritable essence energy and infused it into the 9-star primal core. Xiao Chen opened his eyes and entered deep thought. The Ice Feather Divine Incantation had reached a bottleneck. The white chi whirlpool had not grown for a long time already. Xiao Chun had to break through to the 4th layer. However, this Ice Feather Divine Incantation had a total of 6 layers. The later 3 layers were more important and harder to cultivate. After thinking for a while, Xiao Qian decided to break through to the Ice Feather Divine Incantation's 4th layer after he broke through to the Cloud Sea realm. That would be safer. During this period, he would focus on the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art. Xiao Qian opened his palm and looked at the jade bottle in his palm. Dragon Blood Pill. This was one of the treasures of the dragon race that Xiao Qian obtained in the underground dragon city. It was refined from genuine ancient dragon blood. Every time he used one, there would be one less. Pure dragon blood was simply too difficult to obtain. According to rumor, the current dragon blood pills were refined from the true blood of the dragon race's upper echelon. Compared to true pure dragon blood pills, the effects would be slightly weaker. Opening the bottle cap, Xiao Qian consumed a dragon blood pill. Then he sat down cross-legged and started cultivating the divine dragon body tempering art. He had already completed the 1st layer, tempering his muscles, and the 2nd layer, tempering his bones. Now he needed to cultivate the 3rd layer, tempering his blood. Vital Qi came from the blood. This 3rd layer was also the start of the divine dragon body tempering art's main event. Soon, dragon roars came from Xiao Qian's body. 18 ancient blue dragon images appeared. They coiled around Xiao Qian, surrounding him. An ancient and savage aura spread throughout the cultivation room. It was like he had returned to the great desolate Aeon when the 10,000 races fought. Xiao Qian felt his qi and blood surge. It was like the floodgates opened and boundless essence energy poured out. At this moment, not only did his vital qi soar, but Xiao Qian also felt his ice and lightning veritable essence energy being refined by the ancient energy surging out of his blood. The ancient energy surging out from his blood continuously refined it. The ancient dragon might was carved into the depths of his quintessence, as if it was inseparable from his flesh and blood. From today onward, Xiao Qian would not need to deliberately bring out dragon might. His veritable essence energy would give off boundless dragon might, deeply imprinted in his bones and soul. Dang, dang, dang. The most important change came from his vital qi. Many ancient dragon pattern cauldrons appeared above his head. As his vital qi soared, there were now 15 dragon cauldrons. This dragon blood pill allowed Xiao Qian's vital qi to soar by 5 cauldron force, reaching an unprecedented 15 cauldron force. Every dragon cauldron was different from the ones before. They were exquisitely carved and glowed faintly. The carved dragon patterns looked like they were coming to life, looking very realistic. Xiao Qian, who was immersed in the increase in his strength, felt somewhat surprised. He had not expected this dragon blood pill to be so effective. This was something he had not experienced in the underground dragon city back then. More importantly, the ancient energy from his bloodline reshaped Xiao Qian's veritable essence energy and vital qi. This was the greatest benefit. It was much better than directly increasing one's vital qi in cultivation. After more than half a month, Xiao Qian completely digested and absorbed the energy of this dragon blood pill. Crack, crack. The vital qi in Xiao Qian's body surged in his dragon veins. His blood surged, and his dragon bones crackled. His dragon might spread out uncontrollably. Many dragon images lingered in the surroundings, looking like they were sighing with their eyes closed and roaring softly at the same time. When Xiao Qian opened his eyes, they flickered with a golden light. His great desolate divine eyes had improved further. At this moment, the dragon images lingering in the surroundings also opened their eyes at the same time. Boom! The entire cultivation room could not endure this dragon might. The formation shattered, and the room crumbled. When the dust settled, Xiao Qian's true body was revealed. "Martial uncle, this is a little too grand," Ling Yu exclaimed in shock as he walked out of the room. This made Xiao Qian feel somewhat embarrassed. The effects of the dragon blood pill had somewhat surpassed his expectations. After stepping out of the rubble, Xiao Qian looked at Ling Yu and said, "Come, let me see how your cultivation of the sharp spirit finger is going." 1 hour later, Xiao Qian revealed a gratified smile. Not bad. The effects of the dragon blood pill surpassed his expectations. After 1 hour, Xiao Chun revealed a gratified smile. Not bad. You improved so much in half a month. You surprised me as well. Ling Yu felt excited in his heart. However, after a while, he asked somewhat disappointedly, Martial Uncle, are we really leaving? Xiao Chun nodded and said, all good things must come to an end. We are fated. I believe that we will definitely meet again in the future. Martial Uncle, take care. Ling Yu could not bear to part with Xiao Chun, but he also knew that Xiao Chun had to leave. Just like him, he had his own pursuits in his heart. Based on his martial uncle's judgment, with Xiao Chun's insight, Xiao Chun's pursuit was probably even more difficult than Ling Yu's. Xiao Chun nodded slightly. Then he took out a dragon blood pill and handed it to Ling Yu. Take care. Xiao Chun did not expect the dragon blood pill to bring Ling Yu the same changes he did. However, it would definitely be of help. The main reason why Xiao Chun could benefit so much from the dragon blood pill was because of his ancient and noble bloodline. The dragon blood pill only stimulated his bloodline and unearthed the vast treasure trove of bloodline power. Even if another dragon race disciple consumed the dragon blood pill, the effects might not be as strong. After leaving the Purple Flame sect, Xiao Chun did not immediately go to the Black Cutlass. Instead, he headed for the blessed land of the Patala Mountain. He needed to tell the Venerable Xian Bei about Jin Yuan. No matter what, the Venerable Xian Bei had saved Xiao Chun's life before. Among the Buddhist sect monks that Xiao Chun interacted with, the Venerable Xian Bei was rather trustworthy. Chapter 1763. Xiao Chun's heart skipped a beat. He felt that something was wrong. Although that lightning palace cracked, it showed no signs of crumbling. Every pillar of water looked like a huge dragon coming out of the sea. In that instant, they blocked the tyrannical aura of the lightning palace that suppressed everything. No wonder the divine firmament sect felt that they could kill me by sending just one person. Xiao Chun closed his eyes as he stood on the surface of the sea, the waves bouncing up and down. Xiao Chun turned his head back and saw that person behind him bathed in electric light. So, this was how the will of soul could be used. This was truly an eye-opener. Clearly, this person had come prepared and prepared many spirit pills, not being stingy when consuming them. From the outside, this black cave mountain looked like it was shrouded in boundless fog above the vast sea. Xiao Chun did not want to fight a pointless battle. He silently executed his movement technique, and a faint purple flame burned on his body. Then, he quickly flew over the sea like a ghost. Dying above the waves, the two gave off terrifying auras. Xiao Chun stretched out his hand, and he drew the tyrant's saber. A swastika appeared on his forehead. A Buddhist light spread out from Xiao Chun's body. He instantly executed, resolving the mundane. Then, an eternal and inextinguishable saber light appeared. How strong! Someone is following me? The moment Xiao Chun left the Black Cave Mountain, he sensed something strange. There was an indistinct, hidden killing chi that was extremely hard to detect. The only thing he lacked was the use of the will of soul. However, Xiao Chun had been at this cultivation realm for at least 100 years. Furthermore, he was a rank 4 sect elder with deep accumulations. The 3 blessed lands of the Grave Sea, the Heavenly Shaking Mountain, the Black Cave Mountain, and the Patala Mountain, were not too far from each other. Explosions and the sound of his surging bloodline merged together, instantly pushing Xiao Chun's aura to its peak. Boundless thunderclouds quickly spread in the sky above, pressing toward Xiao Chun. However, they had lost to Xiao Chun twice, each time more embarrassing than the last. To a rank 4 sect, such a humiliating result was simply unacceptable. The old man was dressed in the Divine Firmament chapter elder attire. His expression was cold, and the domineering lightning might in his eyes seemed corporeal as he looked at Xiao Chun and shouted coldly. Seeing that Xiao Chun had increased his speed, the person who had been hiding revealed himself and quickly chased after him. Hence, the 3 blessed lands wore a thin veil in the Grave Sea, appearing very mysterious. It was indeed someone from the Divine Firmament chapter, the old man said coldly. With a wave of his hand, countless bolts of lightning gathered. Thunder clouds churned in the sky, and all sorts of mysterious phenomena were hidden within. Shao Chun was secretly accumulating power, quietly waiting for the enemy to come. The rumbling continued as towering waves rose on the surface of the sea. Those who had experienced it would naturally not have such a feeling. The Thunder Palace pressed down once more, and Shao Chun felt an immense pressure once more. This was a huge blow to the Divine Firmament chapter. Not only did Shao Chun cause the Divine Firmament sect's many resources to go to waste, but he also ruthlessly slapped the Divine Firmament sect in the face. Shao Chun did not open his eyes. His expression was calm, without any ripples. Saber. However, if a cultivator did not ride a special Dao tool, an oceanic spirit beast, or a transportation formation, relying on their own speed, the Thunder Palace would not have shattered completely. That's not right. It is not completely shattered yet. Shao Chun's heart sank. The person who came was a horrifying late-stage star venerate at the very least. Who exactly was it? No wonder. So, that is the case. It is extraordinary. However, just as Shao Chun was about to make another move, a saber light suddenly descended from the sky. That palace was made of pure lightning-attributed veritable essence energy. It contained the will of soul and the thunder domain of the old man. After thinking about it, Shao Chun concluded that it could only be the Divine Firmament sect. Shao Chun had defeated Shangwan Lei's arrogance several times. The Divine Firmament sect had spent a lot of resources on Shangwan Lei and even secretly promoted him, turning him into the spiritual symbol of the Divine Firmament sect's younger generation. Shao Chun thought to himself, oh no, the Divine Firmament sect's movement technique was famous for its explosive power. However, the old man was greatly startled. He simply had not expected Shao Chun's veritable essence, energy, and will of soul to be so strong. That saber light appeared without any warning, instantly chopping the old man in half. He could not resist at all. The old man revealed a surprised expression. After being stunned for a while, he said, "Your strength is really startling. However, you're not a star venerate in the end. Even if you have the will of soul, you cannot use it like I do." Every sound kicked up a huge wave. Thousands of pillars of water shot up on the surface of the sea at the same time. After chopping the descending palace in half, the electric lights scattered, leaving behind a flickering mark. Only the silhouette of a mountain range could be seen. For example, before Shao Chun entered, he had been filled with curiosity and awe. With one saber strike, he chopped that lightning palace in half. The thunderclouds are already here. Senior's thunder domain has already caught up. There is no point in running. Even a might of resolving the mundane increased explosively. The countless churning mysterious phenomena hidden in the dense thunderclouds in the sky gathered into an ancient lightning palace, pressing down on Shao Chun. Since the other party was prepared to make a move, he definitely had complete confidence. You are rather sensible. I believe you know why I am here. Sometimes, when working for others, it is easy to be used. Don't blame this old man for bullying the weak. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for helping the Purple Flame sect. Brat, why are you not running anymore? Shao Chun was not much weaker than Shao Chun. Whoosh. Trying to flee. How can it be that easy? Boom. If not for that dragon blood pill digging out the ancient energy in the blue dragon bloodline, Shao Chun would have already reconstructed his veritable essence, energy, and vital chi. Reconstructing his veritable essence, energy, and vital chi. Just this move alone might take his life. Damn it. A bolt of lightning flashed, and an aura sealed off Shao Chun's surroundings. Following that, thunder roared for 5,000 kilometers around, causing the thunderclouds to churn endlessly. Shao Chun sighed softly and stopped running. Whoosh! Shao Chun felt very satisfied. The reconstructed veritable essence energy was indeed extraordinary. The core of this lightning palace was the old man's will of soul, which he had tempered several times. As long as his will of soul was not destroyed, this move could not break it. Shao Chun punched, and 15 azure, glassy, ancient dragon cauldrons appeared above his head. They clashed with each other, producing loud sounds. Rumble. Will of Soul. Just as the ancient lightning palace was about to descend, Xiao Chun suddenly opened his eyes. The palace gave off an ancient and heavy aura. This palace must be an imitation of Xiao Chen's original body, a building from the ancient era. The old man did not underestimate Xiao Chun at all. The moment he made his move, he used his trump card. For many years, he had been trying to portray Xiao Chun as unrivaled and tyrannical among his peers. The two wills of soul clashed, erupting with a terrifying energy shock wave. Xiao Chun and that old man both got knocked back. Break! Break! Xiao Chun did not stop moving. The will of soul that belonged to him instantly shot out from his sea of consciousness. After leaving the Purple Flame sect, Xiao Chun left the Black Cave Mountain in only half a day. Half a day later, Xiao Chun looked at the sky above him, which was already covered in thunderclouds. Then, he looked at the blessed lands of the Grave Sea. They were only SOSO. Xiao Chun felt startled in his heart. This old man's cultivation was not very high, only about peak early stage star venerate. In Dragon Flame City, this old man had challenged many people and experienced even greater things. No matter what, this old man had not seen through Yunhai's tranquility, so there was still a gap between them. However, the old man behind did not care about the exhaustion of veritable essence energy. Xiao Chen's speed was not slow, comparable to that of star venerates who did not cultivate special movement techniques. He needed only 4 days to enter the Padala mountain blessed land. The stalker might be a star venerate with deep accumulations. Xiao Chun moved as fast as lightning, kicking up towering waves. In an instant, he traveled 50 kilometers. This was because the price of failure would be extremely high. Now that Xiao Chun had entered and exited the blessed lands several times, no one among the youths of the 3 blessed lands was a match for him. With one punch, Xiao Chun detonated 15 cauldron force, causing the entire sea to sink. However, that was all there was to it. Xiao Chen's strength was not sufficient. Xiao Chun executed the fish dragon art to its limits, sticking close to the sea like a fish in water. Then, he went with the surging waves, continuously pulling away. He still needed at least 7 or 8 days. Even ordinary disciples could not endure it. What more Shangwan Lei, who had spent a lot of resources on it. A brilliant light flickered in Shangwan Lei's eyes, and the 206 dragon bones on his body gave off explosive sounds. I clearly do not have enough strength anymore. Why can't I break it? Who would be willing to do so much? A horrifying saber might spread out in all directions. Xiao Chun did not say anything, continuing to rush over the sea. He gently pushed off with his feet, moving very fast. If one was not a disciple of the Black Cave Mountain, it would be very difficult for others to pass through the thick fog and enter the blessed land. Xiao Chun moved like lightning, flickering with electric light as if he was teleporting. This was the will of soul of the old man. This was not an existence that newly advanced star venerates or regular star venerates could deal with. In the time it took for a spark to fly, the old man threw a fist light. Cracks appeared in the palace that the old man thought he could kill and suppress Xiao Chun. However, Xiao Chun did not panic. His eyes lit up as he revealed an expression of understanding. This was unbearable. Chapter 1764. Is it Senior Thunder Saber Xiang Tian? Under heavy pressure, Xiao Chun shouted. Xiao! The boundless lightning dissipated, revealing a person floating high up in the sky. It was the Thunderblade, Xiang Tian. He was the one who had attacked and killed the old man who had been chasing him. Xiao Chun was stunned. He did not expect it to be him. You're really smart. How did you guess it was me? In this vicinity, there is only one person who can brew the Thunder Dao's Dao might and use such exquisite saber techniques. However, I wonder if Senior is here to kill me or to save me. Xiao Chun stared at the other party. He was cautious and did not let down his guard. Naturally, I'm not here to kill you. If I wanted to kill you, I could have done it the day Yi Zifeng left. It was just that this bunch of fools from the sect seemed to think that Yi Zifeng would never return after leaving. Do you think that you can hide it from everyone by acting in such a hurry? Thunderblade Xiang Tian said in a deep voice, "After I return to the sect, I will punish everyone involved. Can we put an end to today's matter and write it off?" "Senior, you're too polite." Xiao Cheng glanced at the Thunderblade Xiang Tian and felt that this person had some spirit. He was straightforward and magnanimous. "I'm not being polite. I'm just worried about Yi Zifeng. If it weren't for Yi Zifeng, the first person to kill you would have been me." Whoosh! Right after Xiao Chen spoke, the Thunder Saber Xiang Tian quickly left. The sea regained its calm as if nothing had happened. Who would have thought that the assassination would end like this? To be honest, Xiao Chen hadn't fought to his heart's content yet. It just so happened that he needed an evenly matched opponent to see where his limits were, and the old man chasing after him was obviously one of them. However, the fight just now also made Xiao Chen a little more confident. Even the Star Venerate elders of rank 4 sects with deep accumulations could not do anything to him. Even if Xiao Chen did not advance to Star Venerate, he still possessed the strength to fight a Star Venerate. Not in a hurry to leave, Xiao Chen closed his eyes and carefully experienced the killing move of the old man, Thunder Lightning Palace. This was the first time he had seen the will of the soul fused into a killer move. Was that so? Xiao Chen activated the will of soul in his soul pool and infused it into his surroundings, ready to fire. Then he slowly spread out his saber intent, merging it with the world and the will of souls. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Suddenly, a continuous stream of saber hums appeared out of nowhere in all directions. In the next moment, Xiao Chen opened his eyes and flicked his finger. Hua! Xiao Chen condensed the countless saber intents containing the will of souls into one, turning them into a resplendent saber chi. As the saber light flashed, the entire world instantly turned dark. The space between the heavens and earth turned black and white. Only that saber light was resplendent and dazzling, clearly visible. However, the saber chi only lasted for less than 1,000th of a second before it disappeared. Xiao Chen revealed a look of joy on his face. So that was the case. It was exactly as he had imagined. Although it didn't even last for an instant, it meant that Xiao Chen was heading in the right direction. As long as he headed in the right direction, truly merging the will of souls with the saber intent was just a matter of time. The earlier saber strike made Xiao Chen vaguely think of the Kunlun realm's Yellow Springs land, the saber light that the Qing Emperor once left behind. Could it be that the Kunlun realm's Qing Emperor already possessed the strength of a Star Venerate? This was truly inconceivable. Xiao Chen shook his head, finding this idea ridiculous. The Qing Emperor should have used some other method to achieve that effect. On the other side, the Thunder Saber Xiang Tian, who had not gone far, felt the saber light that disappeared in a flash. His expression froze for a long time before he came back to his senses. This comprehension ability is really startling. I even somewhat wavered in my earlier decision. A murderous intent flashed in Xiang Tian's eyes. After thinking about it, he concluded that such a person would not remain in the Purple Flame sect for long. He would go to the Central Great Realm sooner or later. With his strength, even if he did not cause trouble, he would run into trouble sooner or later. The Thunder Saber Xiang Tian withdrew his murderous intent. Then, he shook his head and continued flying towards the Divine Firmament sect. When Xiang Tian thought of the Divine Firmament sect's sect master, his face could not help sinking. To think that the Divine Firmament sect's sect master dared to hide such an important decision from me. He probably forgot how horrifying Yi Zifeng was in the past. At the thought of Yi Zifeng, some hidden shadows in Xiang Tian's heart could not help resurfacing. That was a truly ruthless person. My two senior brothers are indeed the same kind of people. 3 days later, Xiao Chen arrived at the Padala mountain-blessed land. A dense fog spread over the sea. A faint Buddhist light shone through the dense fog, illuminating the surroundings. At every moment, there would be believers rushing over from the nearby islands in the sea. These believers worshipped this miraculous scene and prayed piously. After Xiao Chen stated his identity, the expression of the person in charge of welcoming guests at the periphery of the Pothala Mountain changed slightly. You are benefactor Xiao Chun. Yes, I am. I have heard of your reputation. However, if you want to meet the Venerable Xian Bei, you still have to follow the rules and notify him. The Venerable Xian Bei has already been in closed-door cultivation for a long time and is not receiving guests. That's fine. Xiao Chun remained calm. He believed that Xian Bei would definitely come and meet him. Sure enough, after a quarter of an hour, the monk walked in with a smile on his face. Benefactor Xiao is indeed extraordinary. I'll lead the way for you. With a faint smile, Xiao Chun stood up and followed the monk into the Patala mountain. The journey was rugged and took a long time. However, Xiao Chun enjoyed the scenery of the Buddhist blessed land along the way, so it was not too boring. Occasionally, Xiao Chun saw some monks exchanging moves with each other. This gave him a deeper understanding of the Buddhist sect's martial techniques. We have arrived. Benefactor Xiao, please enter. The monk pushed open the door to a quiet room and gestured for Xiao Chun to enter. Xiao Chun walked in with large strides. A sandalwood fragrance immediately assaulted his face, clearing his mind and making him feel much more at ease. This feeling was simply too wonderful for words. The Venerable Xian Bei sat cross-legged before a mahogany table. There was tea on the table, and 2 strands of smoke lingered in the air, creating a unique charm. It is rare for Benefactor Xiao to visit me before you leave. Xiao Chun took a sip of the tea and said with a smile, Master, haven't you been in seclusion? He seems to know everything about me, like the back of his hand. When I heard that you were coming, I asked someone to sort out your recent whereabouts. I knew that you were probably going to leave. Grandmaster Xian Bei's voice was unhurried, and no one could tell if he was happy or sad. However, Xiao Chun was able to detect a trace of lingering melancholy and self-blame in his expression. Master, there's something on my mind. Xian Bei raised his eyebrows and looked at Xiao Chun. He sighed and said, I don't need to hide it from you. I think you can guess it. Are you here to blame me for taking away your saber technique manual? Xiao Chun shook his head and said, I won't. Although I am not willing to accept my saber manual, I will not accept it. Since Master gave me spirit jades and the golden book, I can understand Master's painstaking efforts. Xian Bei looked at Xiao Chun's expression and sighed helplessly. If Zhen Yuan had half your mental state, he would not be in his current state. However, it is also my fault. He wanted to go to the hidden spirit temple long ago, but I kept thinking that his Buddhist cultivation was not sufficient. It was not the right time yet, so I told him to wait patiently. However, he did not know that a heart demon had already been planted in him. Xiao Chun put down the teacup and said, Aside from catching up, I came here this time to tell Master something else. It has to do with Zhen Yuan. You saw him? The Venerable Xian Bei's tone turned heavy, and his expression changed greatly. It was clear that he cared a lot about this disciple. I did. Xiao Chun nodded and honestly told the Venerable Xian Bei about his encounter with Zhen Yuan in the underground Dragon City. However, he hid the matter of him and the faux god flame. When the Venerable Xian Bei heard that Zhen Yuan had absorbed the Black Dragon King's demonic nature, his expression changed dramatically. The Venerable Xian Bei let out a long sigh, looking like he had aged by more than 10 years. Many thanks, Benefactor, for telling me all this. Seeing the Venerable Xian Bei bowing to him, Xiao Chun quickly stood up and returned the bow. Venerable is too serious. Venerable saved my life. That is already a great favor. This is nothing. After thinking for a long time, the Venerable Xian Bei said, Benefactor Xiao, can you promise me one thing? Curious, Xiao Chun asked, What is it? If you see Zhen Yuan again, if you have the ability, can you spare his life and save him from this sea of bitterness? The Venerable Xian Bei looked at Xiao Chun with an extremely grave expression. Chapter 1765. Should I agree or not? The Venerable Xian Bei's request was extraordinarily excessive. First of all, Xiao Chun's relationship with Zhen Yuan was far from good. In fact, it was more like they were rivals and had conflicts. Secondly, Zhen Yuan was not weak. After he absorbed the Black Dragon King's demonic nature, his cultivation was higher than Xiao Chun's. Zhen Yuan's comprehension ability was also not low. If Xiao Chun met such a person, How could he hold back in a fight? Holding back would be asking for his own life. However, when Xiao Chun looked into the venerable Xianbei's eyes, he could not bear to refuse. After thinking for a long time, Xiao Chun said, "I'll do my best. While ensuring my own life, I'll do my best to let him live. I'll bring him back to the profound light temple." The venerable Xianbei said, "Many thanks, benefactor Xiao. That is enough. That child, Zhen Yuan, does not have a bad nature. Him taking this path has something to do with me. If benefactor Xiao can free him from this sea of bitterness, you will be able to resolve the knot in this old monk's heart." Xiao Chen thought for a while before saying, "Venerable, why do you feel that I will definitely meet Zhen Yuan? The world is vast and boundless. If one is not looking for him, it will be easier said than done to meet someone. Fate. Everything is because of that Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique. Since the two of you cultivate this saber technique, you will meet each other sooner or later." The venerable Xianbei showed a complicated expression. After a pause, he said, "Wait for a while. Let me show you something." The venerable Xianbei turned around and entered a secret room. After a while, he came out and handed a painting to Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun gave the venerable Xianbei a doubtful look. Then he unfurled the painting, and his expression changed slightly. The Mahamaya Abstinence Violation Saber Technique Manual. When blessed curls unfurled, the style of the painting was exactly the same as the incomplete saber technique manual that Xiao Chun once possessed. However, there was only one hand gesture in the painting. It looked like a saber technique manual, but also somewhat different. The venerable Xianbei looked at it and said, "This is not a saber technique manual. This is the starting stance of the Mahamaya Abstinence Violation Saber Technique. The complete saber technique was lost long ago and is scattered everywhere. Who knows how long it will take to collect it?" The saber technique originally had a total of 9 moves. Including the starting stance, there are a total of 10 moves. Xiao Chen's eyes were solemn. He felt that he had benefited greatly from this starting stance, but he still couldn't comprehend it. "Thanks a lot." After putting away the painting, Xiao Chun expressed his gratitude. This was a pleasant surprise. He did not have any special intentions in agreeing to the venerable Xianbei's request. Unexpectedly, he managed to obtain the starting stance of the Mahamaya Abstinence Violation Saber Technique. This was truly a pleasant surprise. A saber technique with a starting stance and without a starting stance were two completely different concepts. On the table are some Padala Mountain's white Shaohua head hair, as well as some 10,000-year-old sandalwood. Consider it a farewell gift. Take it with you." Master Xianbei said in a warm voice as he pointed to the tea leaves and sandalwood on the table. The name of this tea leaf had a different kind of Zen meaning. Xiao Chen loved fine wine the most, followed by tea. With such good tea, he naturally wouldn't stand on ceremony. "Goodbye." Xiao Chen performed a cupped fist salute and left. Under the venerable Xianbei's gaze, he left the profound light temple and the Patala Mountain. Half a month later, inside a pirate hall in the Grave Sea, Xiao Chun familiarly entered and arrived at the West Wind Tower. Back then, it was in this pirate hall that Xiao Chun had witnessed Ling Yu fighting another Blessed Land disciple. Now, in less than 2 years, he returned to this place. Everything was the same as before. However, Xiao Chun was no longer the same as before. He did not even fear a star venerate. As Xiao Chun looked at the signboard of the West Wind Tower, he stood there for a long time. Back then, he had asked this chief manager Ding of the West Wind Tower for help in entering the Black Cave Mountain, using his promise to obtain a recommendation letter. Naturally, Xiao Chun did not forget about this promise. If there was an opportunity, he would fulfill this promise when he asked about the Black Cutlass. Xiao Chun greets Ding Yuan, Chief Manager Ding. After reporting, Xiao Chun was brought to the highest reception room of the West Wind Tower. Ding Yuan received Xiao Chun with a wide smile. However, when he saw Xiao Chun, he was greatly startled, showing a horrified expression. In a short 2 years, Xiao Chun had advanced from a half-step primal core veritable personage to peak late-stage major primal core realm. More importantly, Ding Yuan felt an aura from Xiao Chun that inspired fear in his soul. That was a pressure that only a star venerate could give Ding Yuan. For some reason, Ding Yuan felt that the one standing before him was not a major primal core venerate, but a bona fide star venerate. What's wrong? After 2 years, Chief Manager Ding has forgotten about this Xiao? Xiao Chun asked indifferently. Ding Yuan recovered his wits after a long time. Then he smiled bitterly and said, I heard that you successfully entered the blessed land. However, I truly did not expect you to change so much in a short 2 years. Xiao Chen did not deny it. 2 years is not long. It passes in the blink of an eye. I can have my current cultivation because of my accumulations in the veritable personage realm. You should not be surprised. In reality, Xiao Chun did not feel that his cultivation had advanced too quickly. When he was in the veritable personage realm, the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy and the heavenly Yang pill already helped him establish a firm foundation. The moment he entered the primal core realm, his earlier accumulations erupted, which made sense. This bit of accomplishment was nothing for a 9-star primal core realm cultivator. Shangwan Lei was a venerate who condensed a 6-star primal core and already broke through to star venerate. It was normal for Xiao Chun to have his current cultivation. Ding Yuan smiled embarrassedly and said, Let's not talk about this for now. Why are you looking for me? I once made you a promise. If you have anything you need to do, I can help you now. Xiao Chun said frankly. Ding Yuan smiled craftily, a shrewd look in his eyes. Then, he waved his hand and said, There's no rush. There's no rush. It was still too early to use it. As a shrewd businessman, how could Ding Yuan not see Xiao Chen's future prospects? Xiao Chun was not surprised. Then, he brought up the second matter. Help me ask around for news of the Black Cutlass. I want to meet up with them as soon as possible. Black Cutlass? Ding Yuan slapped his forehead and said, I nearly forgot. This ship is yours. News of the Black Cutlass is not hard to find. Right now, probably all the pirates in the Grave Sea have heard of the Black Cutlass. A thought occurred to Xiao Chun. He smiled and said, Let's hear it. 2 years ago, this ship was unknown. However, it is now a famous 4-star pirate group in the Grave Sea. Even some of the veteran 5-star pirate groups have to avoid them when they see them. The most incredible time was when they tricked the Divine Shield Army in a dangerous land. They caused the Divine Shield Army to lose more than half of the Grave Sea's Divine Shield Army. We have tried to hunt it down several times, but we have not succeeded. We have already raised its bounty to the 9th rank of the Grave Sea's wanted list. It's also the only 4-star pirate group in the top 10. It looked like the missing Savage Blood Star Venerate was probably dead. Otherwise, the Iron Hand Yama would not have such a huge grudge against the Divine Shield Army. Without needing to think, Xiao Chun could guess that the person who ambushed the Divine Shield Army had to be the Iron Hand Yama of the Black Cutlass. However, Xiao Chun did not care about this. He did not have a good impression of the Divine Shield Corps. If the Iron Hand Yama wanted revenge, he would definitely support it. When was the last time the Black Cutlass appeared? Xiao Chun asked. He was more concerned about Hai Shui and wanted to see his old friends as soon as possible. Be it the beast-governing sex Elder Tang, Fei and Luo Nan, whom Xiao Chun met when he first arrived in the Great Thousand Realms, or the Iron Hand Yama, who had a sharp tongue but a soft heart. All of them were Xiao Chen's friends. I haven't seen her for 2 years, and I miss her dearly. Ding Yuan smiled and said, There's no rush. Let me look for it. After a while, Ding Yuan showed a slightly strange expression. What's going on? The last time the Black Cutlass appeared was 3 months ago. Xiao Chun asked, What's so strange about that? Ding Yuan looked at Xiao Chun and said, Brother Xiao Chun, you might not know this, but the various pirate halls pay special attention to such a 4-star pirate ship. No matter where it is, there will be news of it at least once a month. Xiao Chun's heart sank. In that case, what's going on now? I'm not sure about that, either. However, Brother Xiao Chun, don't worry. I don't think the Black Cutlass got wiped out. If it got wiped out, the Pirate Alliance would definitely send out accurate news. It would not be like this, where there is no news at all. Xiao Chun thought to himself. The Black Cutlass could summon the Yazi Beast Demon Soul at any time. In the Grave Sea, even if it ran into a peak 5-star pirate ship, it would be able to protect itself. Where was the Black Cutlass 3 months ago? Ding Yuan looked around and said in a trembling voice, "The Grave Island Sea Region." Chapter 1766. Grave Island Sea Region? The Grave Sea Region was located in the center of this sea. There were a few mysterious islands, all of which were graves, hence the name. The graves on the islands were incredibly mysterious. No one knew whose graves they were or when they were left behind. That sea region was a forbidden land of the entire Grave Sea. One would most likely die if they entered. Very few people came out of that place alive. Even though that Grave Island had many natural treasures of the outside world, very few people would go and explore it, knowing that death awaited them, who would not care about their lives and charge in. Xiao Chun entered deep thought. Luo Nan, Fei and the others would not charge into the Grave Island Sea region for no reason at all. There had to be something wrong with this. He had to find out the reason behind it. If he found out that there were other secrets behind it, he would definitely die. If Xiao Chun found out what other secrets there were, he would absolutely not let them off. After some thought, Xiao Chun said, "Chief Manager Ding, help me investigate this matter. I want to know why they went to the Grave Sea." "Don't worry. Leave it to me. I will definitely give you an answer within 3 days." Ding Yuan's expression turned grave. It was rare for Xiao Chun to ask him for help, and it was within his capabilities to do so. If Ding Yuan improved his relationship with Xiao Chun, there would be even more benefits in the future. As a businessman, he could see through this kind of thing very clearly. Xiao Chun stayed in a rented courtyard in the pirate hall for now, waiting for news. While waiting, Xiao Chun did not remain idle. He took out the starting stance of the Mahonia abstinence violation saber technique that the Venerable Xian Bei gave him. The starting stance. Every saber technique had a starting stance. Without a starting stance, it would be an incomplete saber technique that was very incomplete. Even the flawless saber technique that Xiao Chun created had a starting stance. However, because Xiao Chun created it himself, the starting stance was already ingrained in his heart. There was no need to learn it, as it was his own to begin with. However, if it were someone else's saber technique, then he would have to grasp the starting stance. This was especially so for a cultivation technique that was directly comprehended from a primogenitor grade cultivation technique. Looking at it from a certain point of view, this single starting stance was even more valuable than the 3 crippled moves that Xiao Chun had grasped. Xiao Chun looked at the painting carefully. A monk, holding a Buddhist commandment blade, made a gesture of getting ready. He held the saber in his right hand and pointed it at the sky. His left hand formed a special Buddhist hand seal. The manager explained that the hand seal was the 7-kill seal. It represented the 7 different killing intents in the world. This handprint was not an original creation of Buddhism. It was absorbed and dissolved from the pagan religion. In the Buddhist sect, it was a forbidden technique that ordinary people could not cultivate. There were also 7 types of killing intent. Xiao Chun was deep in thought. He had never seen or heard of such a thing before. After carefully reading the annotations on the scroll, he suddenly realized that it was referring to 7 different mental states. There was an indifferent killing intent, as if he was casually stepping on an ant. There was a killing intent that was as gentle as water, as calm and unruffled as a small stream. When he killed, his mind was calm, and there was even a trace of joy. There was a world-shaking killing intent, as if he wanted to fight a powerful enemy and was willing to risk his life. There was extreme hatred and killing intent. Anger attacked the heart, shocking the heavens. There was an unbearable killing intent. He didn't want to kill, but he couldn't bear it. After carefully thinking about it, Xiao Chun discovered that his killing intent was inseparable from these 7 types. He would eventually be able to find a corresponding one. After forming the 7-kill seal, the wielder's killing intent would increase 7-fold. Furthermore, he would be able to control it as he pleased. When Xiao Chun saw this, he could not help but feel his hair stand on end. No wonder this seal was considered a forbidden technique. If an ordinary person cultivated this, it would be strange if they did not enter a state of berserking qi deviation and fall into the demonic Tao. Only a virtuous, esteemed monk with a benevolent heart could resolve the repercussions of forming this seal. Xiao Chun continued watching. Xiao Chun discovered that the crux of this stance was not the 7-kill seal. Instead, it was the understanding of the entire Mahaya abstinence violation saber technique. This saber technique was boundlessly vast, broad, and profound. Everyone could gain different insights from it. Every move and every style could be dismantled. When creating a saber technique according to one's character, its might would be equally terrifying. Every move and stance could be broken down into a profound saber technique. Interesting. It looks like that Zhen Yuan comprehended the Azura Hell saber from entering hell. This person's mastery of the Buddhist Dharma was indeed superior to Xiao Chen's. If Xiao Chun had not seen this stance, he definitely would not have thought that a simple saber and stance could be broken down and cultivated. Closing the painting, Xiao Chun entered deep thought. He had learned 2 moves of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique, breaking the mundane and resolving the mundane. He thought that he had comprehended the true meaning of his cultivation. However, when he looked at this stance, he discovered that it was just the beginning. As the Buddha said, 1 flower, 1 world, 1 leaf, 1 Bodhi. 1 move, breaking the mundane, could form a school of its own, branching out from simplicity to complexity. Xiao Chun continuously evolved the true meaning of breaking the mundane, using the saber in his hand to interpret it more comprehensively. What about the end? Suddenly, Xiao Chun comprehended something. He thought about the cultivation of his saber technique. He thought about his cultivation of saber techniques, but he was just repeating 2 processes, from simplicity to complexity, and from complexity to simplicity. Every time he repeated it, the second time would be even more difficult. It was just like when Xiao Chan was in the Kunlun realm. At first, he only learned the simplest and most basic saber techniques. Then, he started to learn all sorts of complicated and profound saber techniques. This was going from simplicity to complexity. Finally, he comprehended the flawless saber technique. Everything he learned in half his life was in the 7 moves of the flawless saber technique. This was going from complexity to simplicity. When Xiao Chun arrived in the Great Thousand Realms, his horizons were broadened. Then he started to go from simplicity to complexity on the foundation of the flawless saber technique. Suddenly, Xiao Chen's mind became clear. His understanding of saber techniques immediately rose by another level. Invisibly, his saber Dao's great Dao energy improved further. Observing the stance of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique allowed him to draw inferences about other cases, benefiting him greatly. Xiao Chun closed his eyes and deepened his comprehension further. 2 days later, Xiao Chun opened his eyes and started to focus on cultivating the 7-kill seal. Although Xiao Chun was not an esteemed monk of the Buddhist sect, his experiences had tempered his mental state to the point that it was no weaker than an esteemed monk's. Furthermore, Xiao Chun was not a member of the Buddhist sect and could not break the rules of the Buddhist sect. When cultivating, he had fewer worries, which made it harder for a heart demon to form. With his astonishing comprehension ability, Xiao Chen's cultivation of the 7-kill seal, which had clear explanations and paintings as a reference, went rather smoothly. After spending only 3 days, he gained some comprehension. As Xiao Chen's left hand's hand seals changed continuously, his heart moved accordingly. The crux of successfully forming the 7-kill seal was that the various killing intents in one's heart had to change according to the hand seals. There could not be any mistakes. Otherwise, one would fail. Slowly, Xiao Chun felt his killing intent become like water, strangely connecting with the hand seals of his left hand. As the killing intent changed, it molded into all sorts of shapes, entering a wondrous state. Xiao Chen's nimble hands formed all sorts of hand seals, and the killing intent in his heart moved accordingly. Eventually, Xiao Chun discovered that his killing intent no longer came from his heart. Instead, it was completely controlled by his left hand. Instead, his heart became a bystander, entering a certain ethereal state. It was like a lotus flower never touching water or the sun, and moon never hanging high in the sky. The so-called killing intent was just pure killing intent. It had nothing to do with my heart or with me. Xiao Chun. He directly stripped the killing intent from his heart. With a quick glance, the 7-kill seal had already been formed. The entire cultivation room was enveloped by an extremely enormous and heavy killing intent, yet Xiao Chun didn't feel anything. Disperse. With a slight movement of his left hand, the boundless killing intent vanished. Kacha. It was as if a bright moon had fallen into the water, splashing clear water. Xiao Chen's heart also fell into the water along with the bright moon. It was over. That ethereal state. Xiao Chen woke up with a start. His eyes were bright and clear. His soul seemed to have been cleansed just now. His eyes were exceptionally clear and bright, without a speck of dust, just like a gem. His body emitted a simple, elegant, and otherworldly aura that merged with the ice-feather divine art that he cultivated, making him appear even more extraordinary. The cultivation techniques of the Buddhist sect were truly profound. Xiao Chun sighed in his heart. Although the 7-kill seal seemed to be boundlessly domineering, it did not seem like a Buddhist cultivation technique. But on the inside, it was a Buddhist sect cultivation technique. Young Master Xiao, I found it. Just at this moment, Chief Steward Ding's voice rang out from outside the room. Xiao Chun startled awake. 7 days have passed already. I really didn't feel it. Chapter 1767. Ding Yuan walked in with a somewhat grave expression. He said to Xiao Chun, Young Master Xiao, is indeed as you expected. There is more to this matter than meets the eye. Is that so? What's the secret? When Xiao Chun saw Ding Yuan's strange expression, he knew that something was wrong, so he wasn't surprised. Ding Yuan told Xiao Chun about the information he gathered. Young Master Xiao, have you heard of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group? Xiao Chun shook his head and said, I do not know much about the pirate factions of the Grave Sea. Ding Yuan said after some thought, the original 2 overlords of the Grave Sea are the Savage Blood Pirate Group and the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. They are both peak 5-star pirate groups, and their captains are peak early-stage star venerates. With their 5-star pirate ships, unless the blessed Enclave's Grand Supreme Elder appears, almost no one could stop them. Xiao Chun nodded to show that he understood and gestured for Ding Yuan to continue. The Black Cutlass came into contact with the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group 3 months ago. After that, the Black Cutlass went to the Grave Island Sea region. Ding Yuan said somewhat apologetically, what exactly happened is rather secretive. I'm not very clear about it. However, I guess that the Black Cutlass venturing to the Grave Island Sea region might be related to the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. Xiao Chun entered deep thought. You mean that the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group forced the Black Cutlass to go to the Grave Island Sea region? Ding Yuan nodded and said, I don't dare to say that it is definitely so. However, based on the information I received from various sources, the Black Cutlass should be asking this Wolf Smoke Pirate for help. Helpless, I was forced to go to the Grave Island Sea region. Helpless? Forced? Yes, Remnant Blood and the Wolf Smoke Pipe were very powerful in the past, and there was a grudge between them for a long time. After that, Savage Blood was destroyed, and their Iron Hand Yama went to the Black Cutlass. Ding Yuan paused for a moment before continuing. Given the personality of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's captain, it is impossible for him not to make things difficult for them. The corners of Xiao Chen's mouth curled up into a smile. That smile caused Ding Yuan to shiver inexplicably, and he felt waves of coldness assaulting him. Xiao Chun could not help but feel shocked. He clearly did not feel any killing intent from young Master Xiao. Why did his heart tremble? For some reason. Wolf Smoke Pirate Crew. Xiao Chun muttered to himself, repeating the name of this pirate crew several times. Young Master Xiao, going to the Grave Island Sea region might not necessarily lead to trouble. It would not be too late to make a decision after confirming whether the Black Cutlass is safe or not. Ding Yuan's meaning was clear. Although Xiao Chun was pretty strong, he had not broken through to Star Venerate in the end. Furthermore, the other party was an old overlord of the Grave Sea Pirates. If the crew of the Black Cutlass was safe and nothing happened, this matter would be over. The less trouble, the better. Fighting them head-on would not be advantageous. After all, not only was the captain of the Wolf Smoke pirate group an old monster who had advanced to Star Venerate many years ago, but the group also had many experts. No matter how one looked at it, Xiao Chen alone wouldn't be able to gain any advantage. He might even end up humiliating himself and losing his life. Ding Yuan's heart was filled with worry, but he didn't mean anything else. Xiao Chen said calmly, "I don't have any evidence and can only rely on speculation. I won't act recklessly. That's good." Ding Yuan heaved a sigh of relief. If Xiao Chen really wanted to seek trouble for the Wolf Smoke pirate group, he would not know what to do. However, this involves my friend. Even if it is just a guess, I have to find the Wolf Smoke pirate group to clarify things. The Black Cutlass is not something that can be casually bullied by him. Ding Yuan's heavy heart immediately tensed up again. Young Master Xiao, but Xiao Chen waved his hand and said, "Chief Manager Ding, there's no need to try to persuade me. Give me a copy of the Wolf Smoke pirate group's information. The more detailed, the better." Feeling helpless, Ding Yuan sighed. "I guess that it might be impossible to persuade you. I have already prepared the Wolf Smoke pirate group's information in advance." After saying that, Ding Yuan handed a stack of information that he had prepared in advance to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen received it and read it seriously. After a while, he closed the stack and muttered to himself. The Wolf Smoke pirate group's captain, Jiang Hengchuan, was known as the Wolf King. He was iron-blooded and tyrannical, cruel, and cunning. He was a peak early-stage Star Venerate who had experienced hundreds of battles and killed people like flies. In the Grave Sea, he was a bona fide tyrant. Even the rank 3 sects of the Blessed Lands would give him face. When the Wolf Smoke pirate group ran into his pirate ship, he would not clash head-on. He would always bribe the Savage Blood Star Venerate before leaving. Earlier, he had been equally famous as the Savage Blood Star Venerate. However, he had always been slightly inferior to the Savage Blood Star Venerate. Now that the Savage Blood Star Venerate was destroyed, he became the sole tyrant of the Grave Sea. In the past 2 years, his strength had soared tremendously. The Savage Blood Star Venerate had recruited the experts of many pirate groups. Among the pirates of the Grave Sea, he held great prestige and rallying power. The Savage Blood Star Venerate had 8 experts under him. All of them were peak major primal core cultivators, no weaker than an ordinary Star Venerate. There was also a vice captain, whose strength was second only to the Savage Blood Star Venerate, also an early-stage Star Venerate expert. The Wolf Smoke pirate group had a total of 8 pirate ships, 1 peak 5-star pirate ship, and 7 ordinary 5-star pirate ships. Right now, the Wolf Smoke pirate group was at its peak. What strong strength! They were even stronger than the Savage Blood Star Venerate from back then. As for how strong the Savage Blood Star Venerate was, Xiao Chen had personally experienced it. Xiao Chen remembered back then, when the Savage Blood Star Venerate issued a mission, he immediately gathered thousands of pirate groups. The scene was very grand, and he still remembered it vividly. The Wolf King's birthday will be in the middle of this month. At that time, he will hold a banquet at the largest pirate hall in the Grave Sea, inviting all the pirate groups of various sizes. Ding Yuan quickly told Xiao Chen the next piece of news. When Xiao Chen heard that, he felt stunned. So high profile. Ding Yuan smiled and said, he has no choice but to be high profile. Right now, the Wolf Smoke pirate group is at its peak. He wants to use this birthday banquet to see who will not dare to give him face and oppose him, pushing his influence to the peak. Secondly, he wants to accept gifts. The pirates of various sizes who come to the banquet will definitely be prepared to accept gifts. Pirates never lack treasures or spirit jades. Those who want to curry favor with him will definitely give valuable gifts. Those who do not want to curry favor with him will be afraid of offending him by giving too little. In this way, the gifts will pile up to an astronomical figure. Such a method of gaining wealth is even more brilliant and powerful than being a pirate. The businessman, Ding Yuan, was able to tell what was going on with a single glance. He spoke bluntly. Xiao Chen looked at Ding Yuan and said, "You mean that this is the most suitable time for me to look for him?" "That's right. Otherwise, he would be on the pirate ship the rest of the time. At that time, even if young Master Xiao has extraordinary means, in the end, he will not be able to escape death. Ding Yuan hesitated somewhat, but he still spoke the truth in the end. Xiao Chen knew the might of a pirate ship. Even a middle-stage Star Venerate would not be able to take down a peak 5-star pirate ship. The Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's strength was extraordinary in the first place. Coupled with the pirate ship, it would be even more difficult to deal with him. Xiao Chen gave Ding Yuan a deep look and said, "Many thanks. In the future, if Chief Manager Ding wants to go to the Profound Light Temple to pay respects to Buddha, you can use my name to look for the Venerable Xianbei." Ding Yuan was a Buddhist and was rather devout in his faith. When he heard that, he felt shocked. The Profound Light Temple was a holy land in the hearts of the Buddhist believers in the Grave Sea. More importantly, Xiao Chen actually knew the Venerable Xianbei. Based on Xiao Chen's tone, it seemed like their relationship was close. This greatly startled Ding Yuan. He simply did not expect it. In a mere 2 years, Xiao Chen had already reached such heights. The Venerable Xianbei was one of the top experts in the entire Grave Sea. No wonder Xiao Chen was so confident, daring to seek out the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group to clarify things. At first, Ding Yuan thought that Xiao Chen was going to send himself to death. There's no need. Young Master Xiao is too polite. This is just something as easy as lifting a finger. It was me who misunderstood earlier. Since that is the case, why don't young Master Xiao invite the Venerable Xianbei? With the Venerable Xianbei's status, that Wolf King will not dare to behave atrociously. Xiao Chen shook his head and said, "I do not like owing favors. Furthermore, this is my personal matter." More importantly, Xiao Chen did not feel that he could not handle it. In Dragon Flame City, Xiao Chen challenged the young experts of the dozens of nearby astral clusters. He had not suffered a single defeat. His vision was no longer limited to the Grave Sea. No matter how strong the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group was, there was a limit to it. Right now, the most important question was what exactly the Black Cutlass wanted from the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. This was the crux of the problem. Ding Yuan had been worried about Xiao Chen's safety. That was not what he considered at all. Chapter 1768. What exactly was the matter? Why did the Black Cutlass seek the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's help? This was the most important thing in this conflict. Xiao Chen thought for a while before saying, "Chief Manager Ding, I still have to ask you for a favor. Young Master Xiao, please speak your mind. There is no need to stand on ceremony. I would like to know why the Black Cutlass seeks the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's help. I'll do my best. However, I cannot guarantee anything. Many thanks." After Ding Yuan left, Xiao Chen looked at the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's information and entered deep thought. The middle of this month was the birthday banquet of that so-called Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan. After careful calculation, it was only a little more than 10 days if the journey was also included. If one included the distance, that would leave Xiao Chen with only a short 8 days to prepare. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen walked out of the courtyard and arrived at the Pirate Hall's bazaar. Xiao Chen never fought a battle that he was not confident in, nor would he act rashly. 8 days was sufficient for him to make proper preparations. The Pirate Hall's bazaar was always bustling. Here, one could get cheated or pick up scraps. The bazaar was not as formal as the auction house. However, there was an additional possibility. Hence, even some major customers frequented this kind of free bazaar. Xiao Chen needed a set of materials with a tyrannical attribute and filled with baleful qi that were suitable for him to carve. He could not search the auction house in 8 days, so he could only come to the bazaar to try his luck. As Xiao Chen strolled through the bazaar, his eyes flickered with a bright light. He did not miss a single stall of the various places. Even those inconspicuous stalls were not left out. My luck is pretty good. After a while, Xiao Chen revealed a faint smile. When he saw a stall that caught his eye, he hoped to succeed on his first try. "This little brother, with one look, I can tell that you have good taste. This beast bone of mine is the wing bone of one of the ancient overlords of the sea, the dragon shadow condor. My final offer is 500,000 medial grade spirit jades. The stall owner was a skinny old man who hid his cultivation. However, Xiao Chun could make it out. This was a low-profile star venerate. His clothes and aura did not stand out. The stall only had this wing bone as a treasure, and its price was extremely high. Clearly, it was waiting for someone with a good eye to come and sell it for a good price. Previously, there had been quite a few youngsters who were interested in this wing bone. After knowing the price, they all left while cursing the stall owner for being greedy. The dragon shadow condor is one of the few bird beasts that have dragon blood in them. Apart from the dragon blood, it also had a trace of the underworld ghost bird's bloodline. Those who have survived until now are all overlords comparable to human kings. Xiao Qin squatted down and observed the wing bone. He spoke in a soft voice, neither too fast nor too slow. While talking, Xiao Chan sent a wisp of his soul consciousness into the wing bone. Hua! In his mind, a huge black eagle appeared. When the black eagle spread its wings, it was at least 1,000 feet wide. Flying close to the surface of the sea, it created huge waves. There was a faint feeling of a dragon's roar in the wind stirred up by the wings, shaking the surroundings. The strangest thing was that the figure of this huge black eagle seemed somewhat illusory. It was similar to the faux god flame, existing between reality and illusion. Some splashes of water passed through his wings like it was air directly passing through. This was indeed the real deal. The stall owner did not lie. This little brother has good eyes. The stall owner's originally listless eyes immediately lit up. Originally, he thought that Xiao Chan would be like the other youths, not knowing what was good. Unexpectedly, the moment Xiao Chan opened his mouth, he mentioned the miraculous aspect of the dragon shadow condor. Xiao Chan withdrew his spiritual sense and sighed softly. Unfortunately, although it is strange and has the ability to illusory parts of its body, its true offensive power cannot compare to the nine-winged thunder rock. Its ability to illusory parts cannot compare to the nine-winged thunder rock. Its ability to illusory parts cannot compare to the authentic underworld ghost bird. The stall owner smiled in his heart. Reliable. They were going to haggle over the price. However, the stall owner misunderstood. Xiao Qin truly felt that it was unfortunate. If it were a nine-winged thunder rock or an authentic underworld ghost bird, he would have liked it. It was barely enough. Without waiting for the stall owner to speak, Xiao Chan directly handed him a spatial ring. There were exactly 500,000 medial-grade spirit jades in it. This, little brother, you are really straightforward. The stall owner was stunned for a while before he reacted. He had only said a few words, and it was already done. This was truly unexpected, making him feel some regret. Did he set the price too low? Wait. Xiao Chun, who had already put away the dragon shadow condor's wing bone, turned around and said cautiously, "Are you going back on your word?" "No, this old man's reputation has always been good." The stall owner smiled and said, "I still have something that I have not sold yet. Little brother, why don't you take a look?" Time was limited. Since Xiao Chan had already obtained the materials he wanted, he no longer had the patience to remain here. No matter how precious the other treasures were, Xiao Chan had no use for them. "Never mind. Take it out and let me take a look," Xiao Chan said casually. The stall owner took out a transparent jade bottle containing something that looked like fresh blood. With just one look, Xiao Chan could not shift his gaze away. The fresh blood seemed to have a demonic nature, wriggling slowly and giving off a strange light. Xiao Chan recovered his wits. Then, he looked at the stall owner and said in surprise, "This is a drop of pure dragon shadow condor essence blood. I am somewhat curious. Did you kill a dragon shadow condor that still exists today?" That was a tyrant of the sea equal to a sovereign personage. With this old man's strength, he would not even be enough to fill the gaps between its teeth. More importantly, the strongest person in the grave sea was only a holy venerate. It had already been several hundred years since a sovereign personage had appeared. "Old man, naturally, I don't have that ability. This drop of dragon shadow condor essence blood. This drop of dragon shadow condor essence blood was obtained by chance in a forbidden sea." A forbidden sea? Xiao Chan frowned slightly. He had heard Xiao Suo speak of the Great Thousand Realms before. There were a total of 7 forbidden seas, the dreamlands of all pirates. Those were the 7 forbidden seas that drifted alone in the starry heavens. Those were the seas where true pirate experts roamed. That was the true starry heavens. There seemed to be some clues connecting in Xiao Chen's mind. He thought of something but could not grasp the crux of it. Little brother, what do you think? Do you want this dragon shadow condor essence blood? Xiao Chen collected his thoughts and shook his head. No. Although it was something good, Xiao Chen really did not need it. Carving the life bestowal spell did require essence blood. However, it only required Xiao Chen's essence blood. Xiao Chen's blue dragon bloodline was much more noble and tyrannical than the dragon shadow condor. When the time came, Xiao Chen's blue dragon essence blood would definitely assimilate the dragon shadow condor essence blood. It would not have any effect at all. The stall owner immediately felt very frustrated. If you do not want it, you should have said so earlier. After waiting for so long, I thought that I could make another big deal. Ignoring the stall owner, Xiao Chen brought the wing bone back to the courtyard. After entering the secret room, he took out a carving knife and the wing bone and started carving seriously. Xiao Chen's movements were slow and focused. With every cut, he discovered that Xiao Chen's complexion paled slightly, in a place that the naked eye could not see. In the soul pool, the azure dragon medallion that represented Xiao Chen's will of soul was slowly dimming. This was the first time that Xiao Chen had spent so much effort on carving since he entered the Great Thousand Realms. Every saber strike was infused with Xiao Chen's soul energy. From the first cut, it contained spiritual energy and an inner soul. Such a high-level carving was also a test for Xiao Chen's carving skills. It was also a test for his physical body and soul. If he was not careful, his soul might rebound and hurt his foundation. In the secret room, Xiao Chen's movements showed a different kind of beauty. The entire world seemed to have slowed down because of his movements. After a full 7 days, Xiao Chen consecutively used 7 drops of pure blue dragon essence blood. His complexion was terrifyingly weak. Before this, no matter what kind of carving, Xiao Chen would only use 1 drop of essence blood. This time, he used an unprecedented 7 drops of essence blood. This was the limit that his physical body could endure. However, after doing all this, Xiao Chen revealed a rare relaxed smile on his weak face. It was enough. The trouble of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group would no longer be a problem. What exactly was he carving for him to be so confident? Chapter 1769. The next morning, Ding Yuan came to see Xiao Chen. He was startled when he saw Xiao Chen's expression. Young Master Xiao, you entered a state of berserking qi deviation. At this moment, Xiao Chen's face was frighteningly pale. His qi and blood were weak. It was as if he had gone berserk and suffered from internal injuries. Xiao Chen forced a smile and said, I'm fine. Chief Steward Ding, you don't have to worry too much. I'll be fine after a few days of recovery. Ding Yuan reluctantly believed Xiao Chen's words. He said sullenly, I have let down young Master Zhao's trust. I simply cannot make any deductions from the information I gathered. What exactly does the Black Cutlass need from the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group? Xiao Chen told the other party about some of the clues he thought of yesterday. Then, he said, let me ask you something. Are there any requirements for pirate groups to enter the Forbidden Seas? Why are you asking about this? Tell me about it. All right, no one would go to the Taboo Ocean for no reason, because it is too dangerous. Just the route alone is already far enough, not to mention the dangers of the Taboo Ocean itself. Xiao Chen nodded. I know what you're talking about. Tell me more about it. To be more specific, it is impossible for ordinary pirate ships to enter the Taboo Ocean with their own strength. Xiao Chen was deep in thought. What is this common concept? Below 5 stars. The best pirate ship in the Grave Sea was a 5-star pirate ship. The Wolf Smoke pirate ship possessed the strength to deter the rank 3 sects of the Blessed Lands from clashing head-on with it. Could it be that they could not enter as well? Xiao Chen couldn't help but ask his own question. Ding Yuan smiled faintly and said, This is a little special. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group just happens to have the ability to enter the Forbidden Sea. Xiao Chen asked curiously, why? The Gravesea's Pirate Alliance Palace once issued 3 iron blood tokens to the Savage Blood Pirate Group, the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group, and another pirate group. With this medallion, one can use the power of the Gravesea Pirate Group to enter the Forbidden Sea directly. Ding Yuan explained the ins and outs of the matter and told Xiao Chen the detailed reasons. After hearing that, Xiao Chen suddenly felt enlightened. He understood. Can the Iron Blood token be transferred? Sure. There's only one chance anyway. They would only issue the Iron Blood token if they made contributions to the Pirate Alliance in the future. The Pirate Alliance recognizes orders and not people. Xiao Chen muttered in his heart. True enough. He now knew what the Black Cutlass needed from the Wolf Smoke conglomerate. It was the Iron Blood token. However, Ding Yuan did not understand Xiao Chen's thoughts. He continued. However, it looks like the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group has no intention of going to the Forbidden Seas at all. The Iron Blood token is simply a waste in their hands. Now, he is the king of the Grave Sea, living a carefree life. With just one birthday banquet, all the pirates of the Grave Sea did not dare to not give him face, competing to curry favor with him. Xiao Chen did not continue listening. He cupped his hands and said, Many thanks for the answer, Chief Steward Ding. I will take my leave first. See you later. Without waiting for Ding Yuan to respond, Zhang Xian left in a flash. Answer? What is the answer? Ding Yuan was confused. He didn't know what Xiao Chen understood. After leaving the Pirate Hall, Xiao Chen flew over the sea at lightning speed. The seawater of the Grave Sea was different from ordinary seawater. It was a sea of stars formed after countless stars shattered and merged together. The gravity was very strong and strongly corrosive. When Xiao Chen first arrived in the Grave Sea, it was extremely difficult for him to fly above it. Now, there was no problem. His physique could already completely resist the gravity of the seawater. Flying above was easy. Xiao Chen's destination was very clear. The largest pirate hall in the Grave Sea, the place where the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan held his birthday banquet. Xiao Chen's figure moved like lightning. The instant he flew over, few people could sense him. What fast speed! After not returning for so many years, the Grave Sea actually produced such a strong youth. On the surface of the sea, there was a pirate ship that did not look very majestic. A middle-aged man in captain's uniform stood at the bow of the ship. From his words, it was clear that he had extraordinary strength and good judgment. This person caught a glimpse. Not only did he see Xiao Chen's figure, but he also clearly saw Xiao Chen's appearance and determined his age. Captain, I seem to have seen this youth before. The middle-aged captain revealed an interested expression. Then, he turned his head back and smiled. Old Yuan, you know him? This youth is not simple. How did you get to know him? Tell me. If Xiao Chen were here, he would definitely recognize this old Yuan. This was the stall owner who sold him the Dragon Shadow Condor Wingbone. Old Yuan explained. That day, Captain was reminiscing with the Pirate Hall's hallmaster. Since I had nothing to do, I went to the market to sell some leftover goods from the Forbidden Sea. This youth is not only knowledgeable, but he is also very generous. He sold 500,000 medial-grade spirit jades without even blinking. Also, although Xiao Chen had only interacted with Xiao Chen that day for a short time, he left a deep impression on this stall owner. Hence, Xiao Chen remembered it very clearly and told everything that happened back then to this middle-aged captain. He seemed to be in a rush, clearly in a rush. He had the killing chi in his eyes very well. The situation was clearly very urgent, but he did not show any killing chi or killing intent on his face. The middle-aged captain smiled meaningfully and said, I'm rather curious. Who is he going to kill, and what is he doing with that wingbone? 5 days later, the largest pirate hall in the Grave Sea appeared before Xiao Chen's eyes. When Xiao Chen looked at the pirate hall's harbor, he saw many pirate ships with all sorts of flags. The number was startling, even more majestic than what Xiao Chen had seen previously. There were countless experts coming and going. Pirate ships continued to descend and gather at the harbor. Is this the place? It looks like I came somewhat early. After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Chen flew down. After a while, he entered the pirate hall. After asking around, Xiao Chen found out that he had come 1 day early. The Wolf Smoke Sovereign's birthday banquet was tomorrow. The Wolf Smoke Sovereign had great prestige. There were more than 3,000 guests. All those with some background in the Grave Sea were invited. Some of the guests who were not invited came because of the Wolf Smoke Sovereign's reputation, wanting to network and build a good relationship. The waiter who revealed the news to Xiao Chun sized up Xiao Chun with a few glances and said, "Young master, you want to attend the birthday banquet as well, right? However, you do not have an invitation, right?" Xiao Chun smiled and retorted, "Do I look like a pirate to you? Who says that you have to be a pirate to attend the birthday banquet?" The Wolf King's birthday banquet is a grand occasion of the Grave Sea, a rare occurrence. There are many people here to watch the excitement. If you're interested, just say so. I have some connections to help you get an invitation. The waiter looked over with a smile. It was like he already saw through Xiao Chun and knew what he was thinking. Xiao Chun put down his wine cup and said, "There's no harm in taking a look. How much does one invitation cost?" No bargaining. 200,000 inferior grade spirit jades. Xiao Chun thought to himself, this is really shady. The Wolf King's birthday banquet not only earns money for himself, but also provides for his subordinates. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's people must have gotten the invitation in private. Otherwise, how could an outsider obtain an invitation? You think it's expensive? Don't think it's expensive. 200,000 inferior grade spirit jades is limited. Furthermore, this is just the invitations for the outer regions. The invitations for the inner regions are even more expensive. The waiter could tell what Xiao Chun was thinking, so he spoke somewhat loftily. Xiao Chun smiled faintly and said, "If you have an invitation for the main banquet, I will accept it even if you offer 500,000 medial grade spirit jades. Do you have any?" The waiter immediately smiled embarrassedly and said, "How can I sell invitations for the main banquet? They are all people that the Wolf King personally invited. They are not open to the public. No matter how much spirit jades you have, you will not be able to buy one. This depends on strength. You will need to have at least a peak 4-star pirate ship. Otherwise, how could you be qualified to sit at the main banquet?" Xiao Chun entered deep thought. To think that the main banquet is not open to the public. This is somewhat difficult. Never mind. Give me an invitation for the outer regions. I need to use it tomorrow. All right, that's not a problem. Late at night, Xiao Chun sat cross-legged and closed his eyes to rest. At the same time, he nurtured his aura. After 4 days of rushing, he had only exhausted his veritable essence energy. His soul energy and physique had already recovered to normal. He only needed one night to recuperate, and his mental state would reach its peak. The moment dawn arrived, Xiao Chun opened his eyes on time. A brilliant light flashed in them. Chapter 1770. Dawn had already arrived, and Xiao Chun had already made up his mind to kill. Xiao Chun pushed open the door and came out. He happened to run into the waiter who had prepared the invitation for him yesterday. "Young master, you are up really early. Are you rushing to the Wolf King's birthday banquet?" Xiao Chun smiled faintly and casually found a table to sit at. Then, he took out the white harmony flower head tea that the venerable Xianbei gave him. He handed it to the waiter and said, "There's no rush. Brew me a pot of tea first." "All right." The waiter quickly received the tea leaves. Soon, he brought out a tea set and started brewing tea on Xiao Chun's table. The waiter was very familiar with brewing tea. Although he was not very skilled, he was experienced and knowledgeable. After all, this was the largest pirate hall in the Grave Sea, and the inn was the best. For one to be a waiter here, one had to be truly capable. The waiter used boiling water to brew the tea leaves. He discovered that as the tea leaves rolled around, a faint fragrance wafted out. As the waiter looked at the water in the teacup, he seemed to see his own life in the haziness. Figures came and went in a hurry in the inn. The waiter came with a smile and left with a smile. However, in the depths of his heart, he watched coldly from the sidelines, laughing and cursing, not himself. There were young, chivalrous men, baleful pirates, sorrowful women, forthright men, and authoritative powerhouses in his eyes. The waiter had seen all sorts of things in the world, seen the bustling world of mortals. However, he suddenly discovered that he could not see through his own life. He watched coldly until the end, when he saw his already numbed self appear in the teacup. Time passed quickly. Only when one's head turned white did one realize that time was priceless. "What did you see?" Xiao Chen suddenly asked, startling the waiter awake. The waiter looked at Xiao Chen, and his expression changed slightly. Then he smiled and said, "No, I didn't see anything. These tea leaves have not stretched out yet. They need to be steeped in boiling water a few more times before they can stretch out and bring out the best tea fragrance." Xiao Chen knew what the waiter was thinking. He smiled and said, "This tea is called White Harmony Flower Head Tea. It needs a total of 7 steeps before it can reach its best state. But if you directly taste the 7th brew, you won't be able to taste the essence of this tea. The white hair of the Xiaohua period is but a blink of an eye. In the world, in the beautiful things, in the sincere feelings, there will always be a moment of loss. You don't have to deliberately be sad. What you need to experience is precisely the process of parting." Xiao Chen directly took a sip, the first brew of white Xiaohua, put down the teacup, and directly left. "Young master, your tea is not ready yet?" The waiter chased after him and shouted. "Keep it and savor yourself." Looking at Xiao Chen's departing figure, the waiter's heart pounded. He felt that there was more to this white-robed youth's words. The purpose of going to the Wolf King's birthday banquet was not as simple as just joining in the fun. Shaking his head, Zhang Xian returned to the tavern. The waiter continued to brew tea. He was curious about what the white-robed Gongzi saw in the tea. With the invitation in hand, Xiao Chen arrived in front of an imposing courtyard in the pirate hall. They were early enough, but they still had a line up. There is no mistake about the invitation. However, what did you prepare as a birthday gift? When it was Xiao Chen's turn, the cultivator guarding the door handed the invitation to Xiao Chen and asked for a birthday gift. Xiao Chen had long since prepared for this. He took out a jade bottle and handed it to the other party. "Young hero Xiao Chen, I present you a peak-grade life juice source." The guard at the door shouted, startling everyone and attracting the attention of several people. This was a huge gift. "This young master, please come in. Please come in." This huge gift instantly startled the upper echelon of the Wolf Smoke pirate group responsible for receiving them. Then they saw that Xiao Chen had an extraordinary air. Half of his hair was black and the other half was white, appearing cold and proud. Not daring to be slow, Xiao Chen, who held the invitation in the outer area, was successfully invited to the inner area. "Young master is really generous. If you had reported your name earlier, the captain might have invited you to the main banquet." The pirate serving Xiao Chen said with a smile. Xiao Chen said casually, "That is really unfortunate. I wonder, where is the main banquet being held?" "Do you see the tall building? The main banquet of the Wolf King's birthday banquet is on the top floor." Xiao Chen looked in the direction that the pirate pointed. He saw a tall building in the center of the courtyard. From the windows of the tall building, one could look out in all directions, taking in the entire grand occasion of the birthday banquet. However, the people outside could not see the situation inside. Xiao Chen smiled and said, "Sir, please go and receive the other honored guests. I'll take a look around. I wonder if that is convenient." That's nothing. Everyone who comes is a guest. Furthermore, young master's gift is so huge. Don't blame me for not receiving you well. That person said straightforwardly. That person laughed straightforwardly. Clearly, he saw that Xiao Chen had an extraordinary background and did not dare to slight him. This was the effect of a huge gift. If it were an ordinary gift, Xiao Chen would not be able to enter this place casually and look around. Now that he obtained this person's approval, it would be much more convenient. It could only be said that it was worth it. As time passed, the spacious residence became livelier and livelier. Xiao Chen secretly observed and discovered that the honored guests personally invited by the Wolf King would be led into the tall building by specialized people. It was impossible for ordinary people to enter. The surroundings of the tall building were heavily guarded, and there were experts patrolling. However, in Xiao Chen's opinion, he had even barged into the cluster lord's residence. Even though the security was tight, it was nothing to him. Furthermore, That Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan simply did not believe that someone would dare to cause trouble at his birthday banquet. Right now, the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group was at its peak, dominating the Grave Sea and moving about unhindered. Anyone who dared to touch his eyebrows at this time was courting death. As for the true major characters of the Grave Sea, the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan did not think that he had offended them. Although he was arrogant and despotic, he could see the situation clearly. He would not get involved with people and forces that he could not afford to offend. For example, he would never rob a rank 4 sect in the blessed and heavenly lands. Although he was arrogant, he knew his place. This was the reason why the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan could become the king of the Grave Sea Pirates. Of course, a large part of the reason was that the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group no longer had any opponents, allowing the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group to develop to its current level. At noon, the birthday banquet officially began. The various guests all took their places. Then, all the windows on the top floor of the tall building opened. A tall old man with a sinister gaze and a few faint scars on his face appeared in everyone's vision. The guests in any corner only needed to raise their heads slightly to see that person. This person was the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's captain, the one known as the Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan. Thank you, fellow cultivators and friends, for giving this Jiang face and coming to this old man's birthday banquet. I am truly overwhelmed by this favor and do not dare to accept it. This old man will drink 3 cups to thank everyone. Right after speaking, the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan took out a wine cup the size of a bowl and downed 3 cups. This immediately elicited cheers from countless people. The guests were all pirates, people who loved wine. The Wolf King's hearty drinking marked the curtains to the birthday banquet. The many guests at the various tables all started drinking to their heart's content. Cassier, Cassier. The windows on the top floor of the tall building all closed. Immediately, no one could see the scene in the main banquet. The crowd did not mind. It was normal for the Wolf King to put on airs. If anyone could come into contact with the Wolf King, then the guests would not care about the Wolf King. However, no one could see that someone was lying on the roof beam of the top floor. At this moment, a person was lying on the roof beam, looking at the clouds in the sky and listening to the conversation of the main banquet below. Xiao Chun had barged into the cluster lord's residence before. Naturally, it would not be difficult for him to hide this from the people below. Actually, the main banquet had already started long ago. There was only one large round table on the top floor. More than 100 people sat around it. All of them were at least late-stage major primal core cultivators. Most of them were early-stage star venerates. At the very least, these people were ruthless people with peak 4-star pirate ships. This was a gathering of the strongest and most influential pirates in the Grave Sea. Xiao Chan waited for an opportunity to make a move. He wanted to hear some useful information before going in to ask the Wolf King. 1 hour later, amid the clamor, when Xiao Chun heard the words Black Cutlass, he immediately perked up. Boss Jiang, I heard that the Black Cutlass came to you to borrow the Iron Blood token. After drinking, the topic of conversation became more open. One of the captains heard the news and took the opportunity to ask about it. Jiang Hengchuan smiled in disdain and said, An insignificant 4-star pirate group is really bold. That's right. That is indeed the case. However, I sent them to the Grave Island Sea region. If they can help me obtain a ghost cloud flower, perhaps I can consider it. The moment Jiang Hengchuan said that, a wave of exclamations rang out. To think that the Black Cutlass really went to the Grave Island Sea region. That was a dangerous place. The Wolf King was really ruthless. If that Black Cutlass really finds a ghost cloud flower, will Boss Jiang give them the Iron Blood token? Someone asked. Jiang Hengchuan's gaze sank as he looked at this person, inspiring some fear in that person. After a while, Jiang Hengchuan smiled and said, This old man was just joking. To think that a bunch of fools actually believed it. What can I do? Will you go to the Grave Island Sea region? Ha ha ha. That person was stunned for a while. Then he laughed and said, Of course not. Only a fool would go to the Grave Island Sea region. Ha ha ha. Immediately, the group of people roared with laughter. Indeed, only a fool would go to a place like the Grave Island Sea region. As they laughed, Xiao Chun, who was on the roof, laughed as well. However, this laughter contained heavy, murderous intent. Chapter 1771. Everyone at the main banquet laughed heartily. Under the indulgence of fine wine, their laughter became increasingly unbridled. They spoke openly about the black scimitar's faults. It was as if mocking the black scimitar would not be able to blend in. Speaking of which, this was normal. Many times, the dining table needed such a spice to make everyone laugh heartily. However, what was unusual was that the true master of the black scimitar was on the roof. Boom! Just as everyone was laughing heartily, a hole suddenly appeared in the roof. Xiao Chun drifted down and landed on a wine flask, looking as light as a feather. Who is it? Such a scene startled the guests at the main banquet, not knowing what was going on. The Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's face sank. When he saw that Xiao Chun did not give off any killing qi, he waved his hand to stop the people behind him who were about to attack. Then, he looked at Xiao Chun and asked, "Who are you? Why are you so rude?" Xiao Chun exerted some force with his feet, and a wave of energy surged out. Immediately, all the delicacies on the table flew into the air and shot out in all directions. The guests and the surroundings were in a flurry as they tried to block the mess of filth that came their way. After the energy wave passed, the table became much cleaner. Then, Xiao Chun sat on the floor. He looked at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan and said, "Were you not very happy earlier? Untalented, I'm a master of the black scimitar." Whoosh! The moment Xiao Chun said that, a commotion immediately broke out. The guests all showed somewhat embarrassed expressions. This was normal, speaking ill of others behind their backs, mocking them as fools, who knew that the other party happened to be right beside them. After being caught red-handed, it would be strange if they were not embarrassed. The scene immediately turned somewhat strange. The originally aggressive people who wanted to reprimand Xiao Chun immediately swallowed back their words. Just as the words were about to come out of his mouth, he forcefully swallowed them back. Actually, everyone also found it strange. Even if they spoke ill of others behind their backs, they would not feel so uncomfortable. Even if they were caught speaking ill of others, they would not feel so uncomfortable. But why was it that when he faced this young man, he felt that he was in the wrong and did not dare to be impudent? When the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan saw Xiao Chun reveal his identity, he felt somewhat in the wrong. But then he laughed coldly. "What? Do you have a problem with me using the black scimitar as a monkey?" As soon as these words came out, everyone was startled. That's right, why should I feel bad? Why should I be in the wrong? This was the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's birthday banquet. The Wolf King was a peak early-stage star venerate. He also had 8 strong subordinates, all small perfection early-stage star venerates or great perfection early-stage star venerates. Here, the weakest cultivator was a peak major primal core cultivator. Why was he in the wrong? The strong preyed on the weak. Even if the Wolf King scolded a peak major primal core brat to his face, he would have to behave himself and not retort. Xiao Chun sneered in his heart. He saw the changes in everyone's expressions. He stretched out his left hand and instantly formed the Buddhist 7-kill seal. It was like a lotus flower never touching water, or like the sun and moon never hanging in the sky. The instant the hand seal formed, Xiao Chen's heart entered an ethereal state. However, the killing intent hidden in his body was multiplied 7-fold, and it exploded out violently. Xiao, the killing intent that pervaded the air instantly seemed to materialize, causing everyone to have difficulty breathing. A few of the weaker ones trembled as sweat poured out of their foreheads. Their complexions paled to the extreme. Xiao Chen's killing intent was very horrifying in the first place. After it was multiplied 7-fold, how terrifying would it be? This was simply unimaginable. This is a personal grudge. Unrelated people quickly go away. Xiao Chun said indifferently as he stared at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan. If someone's soul energy reached the level of a holy venerate, they would discover that the killing intent that Xiao Chun gave off was pitch black, like the claws of a monster sweeping through the surroundings. However, Xiao Chen's body gave off a faint light, appearing ethereal. Bang! Right after Xiao Chen spoke, the guests who came felt like they were relieved of a heavy burden. Using all the strength in his body, he smashed the windows one by one and fled as fast as he could. The many guests in the courtyard watched every movement on the top floor. Such a scene immediately caused a huge commotion. What's going on? The people attending the main banquet all flew out. There is killing intent. What a strong killing intent. Could it be that someone is challenging the Wolf King? When the windows shattered, the people below sensed Xiao Chen's killing intent uncontrollably. The noisy birthday banquet immediately fell silent. All the guests put down their wine cups and looked at the top floor in confusion. They did not know what exactly happened. On the top floor, the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's complexion had already turned ashen. However, he did not dare to act rashly. The previously noisy main banquet emptied out in an instant, leaving only his subordinates and himself. The unrelated people were all frightened by Xiao Chen's sevenfold killing intent, not daring to remain. When Xiao Chen revealed that horrifying killing intent, no one dared to doubt Xiao Chen's strength anymore. They were all people who cherished their lives. How could they dare to get involved? Kill him! The Wolf King roared, unable to endure Xiao Chen's killing intent. The people behind him endured the pressure and won a charge over. However, this was the opportunity Xiao Chen was waiting for. He was waiting for the sevenfold killing intent to make them irritable and reveal openings in all aspects. Xiao Chen instantly drew the tyrant saber. After completing the starting stance of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique, resolving the mundane, condensed an eternal saber light and swept it out. Boom! The moment the saber light appeared, all the might of the seven-kill seal, which had been storing up power for a long time, infused into this saber. The Wolf King's subordinates cried out miserably as they bore the brunt of the attack. The saber light knocked away the roof beams, leaving only Xiao Chen standing upright with his saber and the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, who blocked the saber light. Several of the Wolf King's subordinates blocked in front. The Wolf King dodged the greatest impact of resolving the mundane's sevenfold killing intent and suffered only 30% of its might. Even so, he still sustained significant injuries. The main reason was that Xiao Chen's killing intent was simply too vast. The impact it brought him felt even more terrifying than that of a middle-stage Star Venerate. Someone really wants to kill the Wolf King. How bold! What a terrifying saber light! Combined with that overwhelming killing intent, he actually managed to force back the Wolf King's bodyguards with one saber strike. Who is this white-robed bladesman? I don't think I've heard of this person in the Grave Sea. The guests who were watching this scene were all shocked and dumbfounded. It was already unexpected that someone dared to cause trouble at the birthday banquet. What was even more unexpected was that it was such a young bladesman. Inside and outside, all the guests in the courtyard stared fixedly at the top floor, completely lost in their own thoughts. The Wolf King wiped off the blood from a corner of his lips. Then, he looked at Xiao Chen and smiled. I once thought about this scene many times. Who will be the first to step forward to challenge me? However, I never expected it to be an arrogant and conceited brat. No matter where you learn the secret technique to make your killing chi so terrifying, you will definitely die today. Today, you will die without a doubt. Who do you think you are facing? You are facing the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. It is the entire Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. It is the pack of wolves that have walked through mountains of corpses and seas of blood with me. Jiang Hengchuan. Where's the pack of wolves? Jiang Hengchuan's tone became increasingly agitated, and his voice slowly turned resonant. In the end, it sounded like rumbling thunder, deafening and making everyone's blood surge and their bodies tremble. Whoosh! Many figures soared into the sky from the ground. The members of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group filled the sky, surrounding the entire tall building in 3 layers from the inside and 3 layers from the outside. In that instant, countless eyes stared at Xiao Chen. They were like hungry wolves staring at their prey. Xiao Chen casually looked around. With a rough count, there were at least 1,000 people, all of them elites of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. Seeing that Xiao Chen did not show any fear on his face, Jiang Hengchuan felt slightly startled. After some thought, he said, "Interesting. Even the savage blood star venerate back then was not this bold, daring to come and kill me alone." "Kill you?" Xiao Chen shook his head and said, "You are overthinking. I only came here to ask for an answer. However, it does not matter now, as you indeed deserve to die." The Wolf King smiled and said, "There are many people in this world who deserve to die. I will die as well, but not now. Today, there will only be one person who deserves to die, and it will be you." The Wolf King's voice suddenly turned cold. As he looked at Xiao Chun, he ordered coldly, "Kill him." The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's members in the surroundings did not hesitate to launch themselves at Xiao Chun. The ferocious howls of the pack of wolves sounded like a tsunami, changing the color of the sky. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's members moved out at the same time. Until now, they had never failed. Chapter 1772. The Wolves Raged. Auras spread out, encasing the entire sky. All the killing intent locked onto Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun squinted and saw saber lights and sword images layered over each other. The mysterious phenomenon of all sorts of martial techniques looked chaotic. In reality, it was very orderly. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group had more than 1,000 members, split into 10 layers. Each layer had 100 people. 100 was the limit for attacking a single target. Otherwise, adding one more person would be a waste. After a round of attacks, only 100 Origin Stones would be able to hit Xiao Chun. This was because the Wolf Smoke Pirates already covered Xiao Chun's entire body. If there were more, they would not be able to find target. If Xiao Chun attacked rashly, it would disrupt the rhythm and send the entire wolf pack into chaos. Without giving Xiao Chun much time to think, the first round of attacks arrived in the blink of an eye. To others, it looked like a boundless wave swallowed up Xiao Chun. They could not see his figure at all. Amid the chaotic, mysterious phenomenon of martial techniques, the sound of weapons clashing rang out continuously. There were also many flickering saber lights. These saber lights were like the most dazzling stars among the stars in the sky. They were exceptionally eye-catching among the various mysterious phenomena. The saber lights flickered so fast that only an afterimage could be seen. The afterimage flashed by the face of the person who attacked, revealing a stern face and black and white hair that fluttered in the wind. Then, it disappeared in an instant. There was no time to look carefully. "It's that white-robed bladesman. He blocked it. He blocked the first round of attacks. What a fast saber strike." Everyone was startled. Then, they suddenly discovered that Xiao Chun, who was being swallowed up by the surging tide, did not fall. However, he did not fall. Instead, he stubbornly blocked all the attacks, breaking apart every martial technique that came at him. Xiao Chun used the saber in his hand to move at lightning speed, creating an impenetrable screen of sabers. The pirates of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group formed groups of 100 people. When the front wave disappeared, the back wave would arrive. Not long after, 10 waves rolled up. Strong winds blew in the surroundings, and the sky changed color as shock waves surged out. The clouds churned at the top of the tall building, forming a strong wind. Amidst the strong winds, thunder and lightning flashed, and the saber light did not stop. The white-robed Xiao Chun held the tyrant saber in his hand as he stood in the center of the storm. His defense was impenetrable. No matter how the pack of wolves roared, how they shouted, how they were filled with murderous intent. Standing in the tall building, it was as still as a pine tree, neither blown down by the wind nor shaken by the rain. The expression of the wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, who was watching from a distance, slowly changed. From the initial disdain, it slowly froze. This youth's saber skills have already gone too far. He is now one level higher than the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's members. This kind of encirclement is completely ineffective against him. A sharp-eyed captain among the guests said in a deep voice. However, there are still 8 strong generals under the Wolf King that have not appeared yet. They are all early-stage star venerates. Indeed. Furthermore, even if they cannot injure this white-robed bladesman, they will not be able to injure him. But if he wants to break out of this situation, it will be difficult. At the end of the day, this young man is still a little too arrogant. Someone sighed softly. The current situation was very surprising. Even early-stage Star Venerate would be defeated in a sorry state when facing the encirclement of 1,000 Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members. However, not only did Xiao Chen defend, but he also did so in an impenetrable manner, not suffering any injuries at all. This was truly shocking, and admirable. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just at this moment, 8 strong auras appeared in the courtyard and flew towards the Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan. The Wolf King's 8 strong generals are here. There's no more show to watch. This youth will definitely die a miserable death. These people were the 8 generals guarding the ship outside the pirate hall. The pirate ship needed someone to guard it to prevent accidents from happening. After the 8 learned that something happened at the birthday banquet, they did not act rashly. Unexpectedly, the matter escalated. Left with no other choice, the Wolf King summoned all his 8 strong generals. "Greetings, Captain." The 8 people greeted respectfully after landing behind the Wolf King. What exactly happened? Even we were startled? Jiang Hengchuan did not say anything. He pointed at the tall building. The 8 generals immediately showed startled expressions, stunned. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's members turned out in full force. To think that there was someone in the grave sea that they could not take down. What exactly was this youth's background? "Captain, there's no rush. We will go and kill this fellow now." The 8 strong generals exchanged glances. They did not want this farce to continue, so they prepared to make a move together. They would instantly resolve this matter, end Xiao Chen, and resume the birthday banquet. However, this was a good idea. Up on the tall building, Xiao Chen sensed the arrival of the 8 strong generals. He raised his eyebrows slightly. They are finally here. Based on the information that Ding Yuan gave him, Xiao Chen already knew about the existence of these 8 people. He also knew that these 8 people posed the greatest danger to him. However, how could Xiao Chen not be prepared? As he looked at the 100 pirates charging at him again, Xiao Chen quickly sheathed his saber and stood alone on the tall building. This is crazy. When the guests below saw this scene, their hearts trembled. This is crazy. Xiao Chen pressed 2 fingers on his right hand to his forehead. Then, his will of soul spread out and merged with the saber intent filling the air. In the next moment, saber hums rang out in the surroundings of the tall building. That sound was not loud, but it clearly reached the depths of everyone's soul. It was like a powerful treasure saber hummed in everyone's mind. "That's impossible." Such a scene immediately elicited startled cries from the many Star Venerate experts. Xiao Chen was a major primal core Venerate, yet he managed to merge his saber intent and will of soul. This was a technique that many early-stage Star Venerate experts could not grasp. Xiao Chen was a peak major primal core cultivator. How did he do it? However, the truth was the truth. It happened just like that. Whoosh! The 2 fingers on Xiao Chen's forehead ferociously swiped forward. The boundless saber intent and will of soul gathered into a resplendent saber light. Only black and white remained in the world. Only that saber light was resplendent, dazzling, and dazzling. The first 100 Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members immediately got chopped in half at the waist. The saber light did not stop, continuing to radiate out. After killing 500 pirate group members, it slowly disappeared. As for the remaining pirate group members, they had already paled in fright as they fled. If they did not flee, only death awaited them. The saber light vanished, and the world regained its colors. A gentle breeze blew endlessly around the tall buildings. The various mysterious phenomena and chi waves disappeared. The scene that had been bustling like waves a moment ago instantly became boundlessly quiet. Only the white-clad bladesman remained standing on the tall building, holding his saber. The 8 generals who had rushed over to help were dumbfounded. They had not expected such a situation to happen at all. Earlier, they were still thinking of taking advantage of Xiao Chen dealing with the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members to kill Xiao Chen at lightning speed. They had sent voice projections to each other to come up with their plans long ago. However, Xiao Chun only used one saber light, just one saber light, to completely disrupt their plans. This simply caught them off guard, stupefied. When the guests below saw this scene, they all had the same expression. Their mouths gaped, unable to say anything. Only Jiang Hengchuan roared. "Why are you still not attacking? How long are you going to wait? You are all star venerates. If the 8 of you work together, he will die no matter what." That's right. These words startled everyone out of their reverie. Suddenly, the 8 generals remembered. There was no need to hesitate. Even without the help of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members, the 8 of them could easily kill Xiao Chun. That earlier saber strike clearly could not be executed at any time. "Kill!" The 8 generals shouted coldly, unleashing their berserk auras. Their wills of soul connected as they charged over. Clouds churned in the sky as the 8 descended toward Xiao Chun. At this moment, it was like the sky above Xiao Chen's head was forced to shrink by a lot. When 8 early-stage Star Venerate experts worked together, they were indeed extraordinary. However, this aura was much stronger than that of the 1,000 Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members. Several people sighed in their hearts. This was the accumulations of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. In the Grave Sea, aside from the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group, who else could have 8 Star Venerates? No matter how heaven-defying this white-clad bladesman was, only death awaited him today. In the future, this would only make the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group even more famous. Seeing the 8 Star Venerates attack, Xiao Chun quickly formed hand seals with his right hand, completing the life bestowal spell in an instant. In the next second, the situation changed. The sky suddenly turned dark. A beam of scarlet light soared into the clouds from behind Xiao Chun, instantly pushing back the area above Xiao Chen's head that had caved in. Back then, Xiao Chun had carved the strongest and scariest existence in the history of the Blue Dragon bloodline, the Blood-Soaked Dragon Emperor. Chapter 1773. The moment the Blood-Soaked Dragon Emperor appeared, Xiao Chun instantly suppressed the other party in terms of aura. The sky above Xiao Chen's head, which had collapsed, rose at a visible pace. The situation reversed. The 8 attacking Star Venerate experts had their auras forcibly pushed back, only able to break through their defenses. Their originally ferocious auras were suppressed in an instant. The feeling of falling from high position, the feeling of being at a disadvantage, was not something others could understand. Retreat, retreat, retreat. Upon seeing the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's grace, the 8 generals immediately cowered in fear. They did not know which expert came, but they were completely stunned and frantically retreated. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor was carved from Xiao Chen's heart and soul. At best, he was only an early-stage Star Venerate. However, as long as the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor had even a 10,000th of the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's charm, he would be able to suppress these 8 people, not giving them any chance to resist. Fighting 1 against 8 generals, this was the limit of what Xiao Chun could do. Even if it was the Wolf King himself, it would be impossible for him to defeat the 8 great generals on his own. Even if the 8 old Star Venerate generals were only small perfection early-stage Star Venerates, when they worked together, their strength was rather terrifying. Objectively speaking, Xiao Chun could not defeat them with his own strength. These 8 Star Venerates were not ordinary Star Venerates. Instead, they were capable generals that followed the Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan. These 8 people did not earn the title of generals for nothing. They had earned it by fighting the other pirate groups and the Divine Shield Army. However, they faced the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor, the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor that Xiao Chun used his mind and soul to carve. The 8 generals' auras immediately crumbled, and they were suppressed all the way. To think that the 8 generals could not retaliate at all. Soon, their bodies were riddled with wounds. After about 7 minutes, one of the generals died on the spot. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor chopped the corpse in half with one sword strike. Blood splattered everywhere, stunning and flabbergasting everyone. No one knew that such an expert was hidden by Xiao Chen's side. This is too horrifying. Who is that person? What kind of character is hiding in the grave sea? I have never heard of this white-robed bladesman before. He seems to be related to the Purple Flame sect. He is called Shao Chun. Something's not right. Look at that blood-robed man. His aura was immense, and all sorts of killing moves were easily executed. He doesn't look like a living person at all. There's no color or spirit in his eyes at all. It's a puppet. Some of the invited guests were experts. They were very knowledgeable and quickly made out what was different about the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor. Stop! The Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan, appeared stunned. When he saw his 8 fierce generals being beaten to the point where they could not retaliate, he immediately shouted. Shao Chun said coldly, Jiang Hengchuan, you are really shameless. Now that you know how to stop, why didn't you help me when the pack of wolves tried to kill me? Back then, when you were toying with the black cutlass, why didn't you stop? Shao Chun, don't think that I, Jiang Hengchuan, am afraid of you. Jiang Hengchuan was infuriated by Shao Chun's words and immediately started cursing. Clang! In response to Jiang Hengchuan, Shao Chun drew his treasure saber and pointed it at the other party. Shao Chun's cold face showed no intention of compromising. Jiang Hengchuan, how long are you going to be a tortoise? Since you're not afraid, then come and fight. Since you say that you're not afraid, then come and fight. Shao Chun used the most decisive method to ruthlessly strike back at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, making him swallow his words, unable to say anything else. The guests were also incredibly shocked. Who could have expected that Shao Chun would be so stubborn? Who could have imagined that a junior would call the existence that they did not dare to offend a coward in front of everyone? However, now that they thought about it, this Jiang Hengchuan was indeed a coward. From the very start, he never took the initiative to make a move. Jiang Hengchuan cherished his life. Even at the final moment, he still wanted to compromise with Shao Chun, unwilling to make a move. Now, Shao Chun forced him to the edge of a cliff, not giving him a chance to retreat at all. Many people could not help having other thoughts. It seemed like the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's doomsday was right before their eyes. What if he really lost? Thinking of this, everyone felt a chill, finding this extremely inconceivable. The matters of the world truly changed in an instant. The universe unfathomable. When the birthday banquet started, it turned out that the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, whom everyone believed to be invincible, fell so easily. Another blood-curdling scream rang out. Of the 8 great generals, another one had died. Jiang Hengchuan's lips twitched involuntarily as he faced Shao Chun, who pointed his saber at him from the tall building. For the first time, he felt helpless. It's over. It's all over. Even if I make a move and kill this fellow, the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group will definitely be eliminated from the list after today. As someone in a high position, there were many competitors. Among the guests, there were many who were gloating over the misfortune of others. Even if Jiang Hengchuan managed to kill Shao Chun by luck, others would kick him while he was down. When Shao Chun pointed his saber at him, Jiang Hengchuan knew that he lost. I admit defeat. The Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan said helplessly as he looked at Shao Chun. His voice sounded very aged and ancient. If Jiang Hengchuan had another chance, he definitely would not toy with the Black Cutlass, forcing it to the Grave Island Sea region, a forbidden land with a slim chance of survival. Shao Chun stretched out his hand and beckoned. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor turned into an exquisite sculpture and landed in his hand. After sheathing the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor, Shao Chun landed before Jiang Hengchuan and said coldly, "You are rather smart." Bang! Right after Shao Chun spoke, he immediately threw a palm strike, instantly driving 10 cauldron force. This palm strike, which came without any warning, gave off a loud sound. Jiang Hengchuan vomited a mouthful of blood as Shao Chun sent him flying. Whoosh! 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 This action immediately angered several Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members. They all stood up and glared at Shao Chun in rage. Don't move. Jiang Hengchuan stood up and wiped the blood off his lips. Then, he raised his hand to stop the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members. Bang! What answered Jiang Hengchuan was Shao Chun's second palm strike. When this palm strike landed, It mixed vital chi and veritable essence energy, creating an even greater destructive power. Jiang Hengchuan did not block. He was horrified to discover that even if he did not admit defeat, he would not be able to do so. It seemed that the result was no different. The strength that Xiao Qin displayed far surpassed Jiang Hengchuan's expectations. After Jiang Hengchuan went flying for the second time, he was in an even more sorry state. All the bones in his body shattered, and his internal organs ruptured. Jiang Hengchuan vomited a mouthful of blood, which actually contained many shattered internal organs. The surrounding guests all sucked in a breath of cold air in fright at Xiao Qin's means. Against the Wolf King, who had already admitted defeat and had taken a big step back, Xiao Qin still showed no mercy when he attacked. Xiao Qin's decisiveness in killing inspired lingering fear. Bang! Before the Wolf King could get up, Xiao Qin sent another palm strike. After 3 palm strikes, Jiang Hengchuan was half dead. Jiang Hengchuan could no longer stand up. The remaining members of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group quickly went over to help him up. Seeing Jiang Hengchuan in such a sorry state, none of the many pirates who addressed him as brothers at the birthday banquet were willing to step forward and speak up for him. There are many things that cannot be ended just because you admit defeat. These 3 palm strikes are just interest. If even one person of the Black Cutlass dies, I will come back at any time to take your life. As Xiao Qin looked at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, there was no sympathy or pity in his eyes. One's path was chosen by oneself. If the Wolf King had only made a deal with the Black Cutlass, Xiao Qin would not have such a strong murderous intent. However, this Wolf King was just toying with the Black Cutlass, never thinking of handing the Iron Blood token to the other party. During the main banquet, the Wolf King even mocked the Black Cutlass, saying that it was seeking its own death and could not blame others. Xiao Qin, don't go overboard. My captain already admitted defeat. What else do you want? Upon hearing the threat in Xiao Qin's words, the pirates all looked at Xiao Qin with hostile gazes, feeling aggrieved. What are you afraid of? At worst, we will just fight it out with him, a life and death struggle. Jiang Hengchuan coughed intensely and said, all of you, shut up. 4th brother, hand the Iron Blood token to young Master Xiao. A life and death struggle? That was easy to say. Now, Jiang Hengchuan finally understood. Xiao Qin came prepared, one trap after another. The other party had calculated all of Jiang Hengchuan's reactions. However, Jiang Hengchuan did not know anything about Xiao Qin. It was impossible for them to fight to the death. They would only lose their lives in vain. One of the 8 generals showed an unresigned expression. However, he still took out the Iron Blood token and handed it to Xiao Qin. Xiao Qin received the Iron Blood token and swept his gaze over the surrounding guests. Then, he said, only I can take his life. Upon hearing Xiao Qin's words, Jiang Hengchuan heaved a sigh of relief. He knew that although the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group was finished, the lives of his remaining brothers were preserved. Chapter 1774. As Xiao Qin toyed with the Iron Blood token in his hand, he gave the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan a deep look. Good luck. Many thanks, the Wolf King said reluctantly as he performed a cupped fist salute. Whoosh! Right after speaking, Xiao Qin left the courtyard with a few flashes, heading back to his inn. Dressed in white, Xiao Qin stood out on the street. However, he appeared calm and unruffled, showing a calm expression without any fluctuations. He did not look like the tyrannical white-robed bladesman who caused a huge commotion at the Wolf King's birthday banquet earlier. When Xiao Qin blended into the crowd, aside from his conspicuous white robes, he did not look much different. When Xiao Qin returned to the inn, he was surprised to discover that his tea was still there. The flame on the tea set left behind by the waiter had not gone out, and the temperature had not decreased. However, the waiter had already gone to entertain other guests. Xiao Qin sat down and looked at the teacup. The white thyme glory tea leaves at the bottom of the teacup had already spread out. However, much time had already passed, and the tea was already cold, no longer steaming. One had to drink tea while it was hot. It could not be warm or cold. Only when the tea was boiling could one taste the best flavor. However, Xiao Chun did not mind. He drank the already cold tea and drank it in one gulp. It was slightly bitter, no longer having the original taste of the white thyme glory tea leaves. However, it had a different charm to it, giving Xiao Chun a deeper understanding of it after returning from a huge battle. "Young master, you are back." The waiter's eyes were sharp. When he discovered Xiao Chun, he immediately rushed over. "I heard that someone challenged the Wolf King at the Wolf King's birthday banquet and is still fighting intensely. Is that true?" The experts of the inn have all rushed over. "Unfortunately, I cannot go over. I really want to see who is so bold as to even dare to mock the Wolf King." Xiao Chun put down the teacup and said with a smile, "Far at the horizon, close at hand." "Ah!" The waiter quivered, nearly dropping the teapot in his hand. By the time the waiter recovered his wits, he discovered that Xiao Chun had already left. Inside the room, Xiao Chun took out the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor statue. If the Wolf King didn't admit defeat, the statue wouldn't last long. Even if the statue could hold on, Xiao Chun did not dare to let it continue fighting. Not only did the carving of the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's statue exhaust his mind and essence blood, but it also drained his mind and essence blood. While controlling it, his mental energy was like a flowing river, surging and leaking out continuously. Others only saw the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor killing everywhere. However, they did not see Xiao Chun's mental energy drain. He unsheathed his sword and challenged the Wolf King. They seemed crazy, but they wanted to end the battle as soon as possible. They were prepared to die. The person who dared to pull the emperor down from his horse, even if he was willing to be cut into pieces, was exactly what Xiao Chun had just done. However, this Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan was indeed smart. He admitted defeat in the face of battle. He had managed to protect most of the Wolf Smoke pirate crew. According to Xiao Chun's original plan, he would not leave until he slaughtered the Wolf Smoke pirate group and killed the Wolf King. There is no doubt that as long as he was willing to pay the price, nothing would be a problem. After putting down the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor statue, Xiao Chun took out the Iron Blood token. Then his gaze turned grave. He only hoped that the brothers of the Black Cutlass were safe. If something happened, killing all the people of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group would not help. Damn it, the Wolf King is right. What a bunch of fools. Why are we going to the Grave Island Sea region? We have to return alive. I have to give you all a good scolding before I can vent my anger. Xiao Chun's right hand trembled as he tightly grasped the Iron Blood token. Even when facing the Wolf King, his eyelids did not twitch. However, at this moment, his hand trembled, feeling extremely powerless. The melancholy of that cup of bitter tea lingered in his mouth, not fading away even now. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. There was still no news of the Black Cutlass. Xiao Chun could not wait any longer. He prepared to find a ship and make a trip there. Grave Island Sea region. Not to mention going to the Grave Island Sea region alone without a pirate ship. Even going to the periphery was akin to sending oneself to death. However, given the circumstances, Xiao Chun felt that he had to go. However, just as Xiao Chun was about to leave, he happened to see Luo Nan, Fei and the others outside the inn. "Captain, Big Brother Xiao." When Xiao saw Fei and the others saw Xiao Chun at the door, they rushed over without caring about their image. They could not believe their eyes, thinking that they were hallucinating. The Iron Hand Yama laughed loudly and gave Xiao Chun a bear hug. Only then did Xiao Chun believe that they really returned. "You," Xiao Chun counted. Luo Nan, Fei Elder Tang, Xiao saw, the Iron Hand Yama, and all the old members of the Black Cutlass were present. Fei eyes turned somewhat moist. "Big Brother Xiao, I thought that I would never see you again." Xiao Chun originally wanted to scold this group of people. However, his heart instantly softened, and he could not bring himself to do so. He smiled helplessly and said, "Little Fei, don't cry. Let's go to my room." After entering Xiao Chun's room, Xiao Saw organized his thoughts and said, "After we came out, we heard that Captain defeated the Wolf Smoke pirate group. At that time, it was really delightful. To think that you were still worried about us and were definitely waiting for us. We rushed over day and night, practically not resting at all." The Iron Hand Yama sighed and said, "This time, it was really a narrow escape. We nearly could not return. That old bastard nearly caused us to die. Xiao Chun, you helped us vent our frustrations. Back then, when that old bastard saw me, he ridiculed all of us for a while. Xiao Chun immediately asked the questions that he had buried in his heart when he saw everyone. The group immediately turned silent. After a long time, Elder Tang said, I am to blame for this. I already know where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is. However, we need the Iron Blood token before we can go to the Forbidden Sea. So, Fei interrupted. You cannot blame Elder Tang. At that time, we were thinking that we could wait for Big Brother Xiao Chun to go to the Forbidden Sea with him after obtaining the Iron Blood token. However, we cannot rely on Big Brother Xiao Chun for everything. We felt that we could give it a try. Xiao Chun thought to himself, so, that is the case. It is similar to what I thought. Indeed, the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is in a Forbidden Sea. One can go to the Forbidden Sea only with the Iron Blood token. Fei and the others wanted to give me a surprise. At the same time, they did not want Xiao Chun to follow me to the Grave Island Sea. They did not want Xiao Chun to share the risk. Xiao Chun wanted to blame Xiao Chun, but he did not know where to start. However, just at this moment, Xiao Suo's expression suddenly turned somewhat grave. He said, Young Master Xiao, I have something to tell you. When Xiao Chun saw that the others' expressions were not quite right, his heart sank as he had a bad feeling. What is it? Speak. We lost the Scarlet Blood War banner. Lost it. Xiao Chun's expression did not change. However, he felt shocked in his heart. The Scarlet Blood War banner was a crucial tool for finding the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure. If the war banner was lost, it meant that the treasure would be gone as well. However, Xiao Chun was very carefree. After his emotions fluctuated for a while, he quickly adjusted himself. If the war banner was lost, then he could only head for the Central Great Realm in advance. Should he go directly to the Dragon Race's territory, or should he go to the Yinwu Dynasty or the Tianwu Dynasty first and understand the situation in the Central Great Realm before going to the Dragon Race? However, he had to make a decision. Big Brother Xiao Chun, are you not angry? Fei looked at Xiao Chun somewhat nervously. Xiao Chun smiled faintly and looked at Xiao Suo. Don't be dispirited. In the end, Xiao Suo was the one who bought the war banner. It is not mine. There is really no need to blame yourself. You being able to return alive is better than anything else. There are many fortuitous encounters in the world, but we only have one life. I will say this very seriously. Don't take such risks in the future. Xiao Chen's words came from the bottom of his heart. His sincerity warmed Fei, and the others. After hesitating for a while, the Iron Hand Yama said, Actually, we might not have lost it. Given my understanding of that person, I feel that he will return the Iron Blood War banner in the end and not snatch our things. When Xiao Chen heard that, he felt slightly stunned. There is more to this than meets the eye. What exactly is going on? After some thought, the Iron Hand Yama said, Didn't I say earlier that we nearly could not return? Someone saved us in the Grave Island Sea region. At that time, Xiao Suo was using the Iron Blood War banner to fight. That is where the problem lies. After we were rescued, that person suddenly said that he wanted to borrow the Iron Blood War banner to take a look and that he would return it to us the next time we meet. The other party is very strong, and his pirate group is even stronger. Although he said he wanted to borrow it, there was no way to refuse. Chapter 1775. The other party was very strong? These words coming out of the Iron Hand Yama's mouth were somewhat unusual. After all, he had once been a member of the Savage Blood Pirate Group. What pirate crew? Could it be stronger than the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group? Xiao Chun asked in confusion. Fei, Luo Nan, and the others nodded slightly, indicating that it was indeed true. The Iron Hand Yama said, It's the Iron Horn Pirate Group. In the past, there were 3 pirate groups in the Grave Sea that obtained the Iron Blood token. One was the Savage Blood Pirate Group, which is now the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. The last one is the Iron Horn Pirate Group. Iron Horn Pirate Group? When Xiao Chen heard that, he felt slightly startled. He seemed to have heard Ding Yuan say that the Grave Sea Pirate Alliance had indeed sent out 3 Iron Blood tokens. At that time, he only knew that Savage Blood and Wolf Smoke had obtained them, but he did not ask who had obtained the remaining Iron Blood token. However, this Iron Horn pirate group went to the Forbidden Sea long ago and has not returned to the Grave Sea for more than 20 years already. I've never seen the Iron Horn pirate group before. I've only heard about some of their deeds. They were the overlords of the Grave Sea many years ago. Then, they went to the Forbidden Sea. This time, they're already a 6-star pirate group. A 6-star pirate group would have almost no hope of snatching back the Scarlet Blood Banner. Somewhat ashamed, Xiao Suo said, "Leader, I'm sorry. If only I had not used the Scarlet Blood War Banner back then. Otherwise, he would not have borrowed it." Xiao Chun comforted him. "Don't say that. It's enough that you're alive. If you did not use the Scarlet Blood War Banner, you would have been wiped out long ago. We won't be able to last until the Iron Horn Pirate Group arrives." Xiao Qin did not have much hatred for the Iron Horn Pirate Group. It was natural for pirates to rob others. The other party was already very benevolent by not making things difficult for the Black Cutlass out of consideration for their old friendship. If Xiao Chan was ruthless and did not help, he would still be able to obtain the Scarlet Blood War Banner. "Let's call it a day. How's the ship?" Xiao Qin asked. He was more concerned about whether the Black Cutlass was damaged or not. "The ship is fine. We just need to repair it a little. This time we have gained something." He had found 8 stalks of ghost cloud grass and other natural treasures. It is enough to turn the Black Cutlass into a 5-star pirate ship, Xiao Suo said excitedly as he perked up a little when he mentioned the pirate ship. Bang! Bang! At this moment, someone knocked on the door. It was the waiter who had come to look for Xiao Chun. "Young master, someone just delivered a storage ring and mentioned that it was for you." He even said something about congratulating the people of the Black Cutlass for returning safely. While the others were at a loss, Xiao Chun guessed. "It is a gift sent by Jiang Hengchuan as an apology. You may leave. Just say that I have accepted the gift." Luo Nan and the others exchanged glances, finding this hard to imagine. The Wolf King, who had made things difficult for them 3 months ago, was now apologizing to them. The Iron Hand Yama carefully sized up Xiao Chun. Only then did he feel shocked to discover that Xiao Chen's aura was no longer the same as before. Compared to 2 years ago, he was many times stronger. It had reached a level that even Xiao Chun could not see through. After all, he had broken through the bottleneck of Star Venerate in the past 2 years. "Captain, did you really defeat the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group by yourself?" Even now, Xiao Suo still did not believe it. This was simply too surreal. Xiao Chun retorted casually, "Could it be fake?" After saying that, Xiao Chun sent his spiritual sense into the storage ring. After a while, he withdrew his spiritual sense. Then, he revealed a smile and said, "This Wolf King is really generous. He probably sent half of the birthday gift back then." Spending money to buy one's life was nothing more than this. Xiao Chun handed the storage ring to Xiao Suo. Then he said, "I'll leave this spirit jades and the birthday gift to you. Make the Black Cutlass a peak 5-star pirate ship in the shortest time possible." "All right, leave this matter to me." The Iron Hand Yama said, "I have some connections with the pirate hall here. I can use them and be of some help." Xiao Chun nodded and said, "In that case, I'll leave this matter to the 2 of you." Elder Tang was stunned. Then he looked at Xiao Chun and said, "Young Master Xiao, you do not intend to give up on the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure?" Xiao Chun raised his eyebrows. "Why should I give up? We put in so much effort. We have to fight for it, right? Giving up like this is not my style." Elder Tang immediately said excitedly, "That's good. I thought that young Master Xiao would directly give up." Xiao Chun smiled faintly and said, "Come, I'll go take a look first. Let's meet up on the Black Cutlass." "Let's go." Everyone showed smiles on their faces as they left the inn and headed for the port. Along the way, the group spoke about their experiences after they parted. 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. They still remembered the scene of their parting as if it was right before their eyes. In the blink of an eye, 2 years had passed. During these 2 years, Xiao Chun had grown a lot. His strength was no longer the same as before. However, the people of the Black Cutlass were no weaker either. The Iron Hand Yama successfully broke through to Star Venerate. Now his cultivation was stable, and his strength steadily increased. When the Black Cutlass was a peak major primal core cultivator, he was already known as unrivaled within the same cultivation realm. This breakthrough was even more incredible. If not for the Wolf Smoke pirate group having 8-star venerates and the Wolf King being a peak early-stage star venerate, the Iron Hand Yama would not care about them. The Iron Hand Yama would not care about a regular 5-star pirate captain at all. The couple, Luo, Nan, and Fei, also had extraordinary fortuitous encounters. Under the cleansing of Shao Chen's life juice source, they had already advanced to major primal core venerates. Although their improvement was nothing compared to that of the disciples of rank 4 sects, it was still very rare. With the two's talent, it was truly rare for them to make such improvements. Elder Tang's cultivation did not improve much. However, his beast-taming skills were even more exquisite and strong. On the other hand, Xiao Sua's improvement was rather startling. The life juice source seemed to have completely unleashed his potential. Now, Xiao Sua had already reached peak major primal core. In terms of cultivation, he was practically the same as Xiao Chun. After about 7 minutes, the group arrived at the Black Cutlass. The appearance of the Black Cutlass had not changed much. When Xiao Chun saw it, he immediately felt a sense of familiarity. After entering the lower level, the group arrived before the immemorial demon soul formation that he cared about the most. At the core of the formation, the Yazi beast carved on the formation plate already had 3.5 stars lit up. This is the greatest trump card of our Black Cutlass. Once the Yazi beast demon soul is released, it is an existence equal to a middle stage star venerate. If not for the Yazi beast demon soul, we would not dare to barge into the Grave Island Sea region. Elder Tang sighed. Then he continued, "Unfortunately, the trouble we ran into was too big." "What trouble?" "We ran into a flock of underworld ghost birds. They were only middle stage star venerates, but their abilities were too strange. They could make their bodies immaterial. The Yazi beast demon soul was outnumbered and killed in the end. If not for the Iron Horn pirate group's captain making a move, it would have been destroyed on the spot." Xiao Chan exclaimed in shock, "Is that Iron Horn pirate group's captain really that strong?" The Iron Hand Yama nodded and said, "He gave me the feeling that he should be a late-stage star venerate." Elder Tang and the others could not make out the captain's strength at all. Late-stage star venerate? That was already an extremely horrifying cultivation realm. Right now, Xiao Chan could barely protect himself against a middle-stage star venerate. If he clashed head-on, he would lose in less than 100 moves. After advancing to star venerate, with every increase in cultivation realm, one's strength would undergo a tremendous change. This would result in a qualitative leap. The difference between early stage and middle stage was like heaven and earth. Without using his trump cards, Xiao Chen's current strength should be on par with that peak early stage star venerate Wolf King. He would not be able to truly contend with a middle stage star venerate, much less a late stage star venerate. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. It looks like I need to break through to star venerate before going to the Forbidden Sea. Right now, he was only a step away from the Cloud Sea realm and could advance at any time. Xiao Chen already condensed the will of soul. He did not face any bottlenecks when advancing to the Cloud Sea realm. It was just a matter of time. After advancing to Star Venerate, Xiao Chun could formally cultivate soul energy. He could also cultivate the Mahamaya Abstinence Violation Saber Technique's third move, Entering Hell. He could use this opportunity to break through to the 11th layer of the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation and start cultivating the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art's 4th layer. Xiao Chun urgently needed to raise his many cultivation techniques and martial techniques to Star Venerate before they could improve. Just at this moment, someone suddenly rushed in at the entrance to the next floor in a fluster. "Captain, it's bad. The Ironhorn Pirate Group is here again." Chapter 1776. "Come again?" Xiao Suo and the others immediately looked at Xiao Chun. Clearly, they wanted Xiao Chun to make the decision. Xiao Chun shifted his gaze to the Iron Hand Yama and asked, "Old Yama, what do you think of the Iron Horn Pirate Group's captain?" After thinking for a while, the Iron Hand Yama replied, "He is not like a regular pirate. He has a benevolent heart. I feel that he is here to return the Scarlet Blood War banner. After a pause, the Iron Hand Yama continued. However, I also feel that something is wrong. If he is truly magnanimous, he would not be willing to lend us the Scarlet Blood War banner. There is no need for them to borrow our Scarlet Blood War banner. Back then, while the Iron Hand Yama said to lend it, there was actually no reason not to give it. Xiao Qin said indifferently, "Let's meet him." The bow of the ship welcomed the guests. A total of 4 or 5 people from the Iron Horn Pirate group came. There were no other attendants. Everything was simple and did not look imposing. The leader was a middle-aged man in black captain's uniform. He had regular facial features and a squarish face, looking very imposing. Xiao Chun quickly stepped forward and performed a cup fist salute. "Greetings, Iron Horn Pirate Group's captain. I have long heard of your great name." The middle-aged man carefully sized up Xiao Chun. Then, he smiled and said, "My name is Yin Jia. I'm a few years older than you, so you can just address me as Big Brother Yin. Actually, we have met before." Xiao Chun found this strange, so he asked, "Met before?" He could not remember when he had met such a person. Xiao Chun had always been confident in his memory. It was impossible for him to not have any impression of someone he had met before. "Young Master Xiao, do you remember this old man?" An old man walked out from behind Yin Jia and asked with a smile as he looked at Xiao Chun. "It's you." This person was the stall owner who sold the Dragon Shadow Condor wing bone to Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun had a deep memory of this person. Back then, this person even recommended a drop of Dragon Shadow Condor Essence blood to Xiao Chun. At that time, Xiao Chun had found it strange that Xiao Chun had killed a Dragon Shadow Condor. It turned out that this person was from the Iron Horn Pirate Group. No wonder. That explained everything. It looks like young Master Xiao still remembers this old man. "Back then, when you crossed the Grave Sea in a hurry, my captain saw you at the bow of the ship. You left a deep impression on me, and I still remember it clearly." The old man explained with a grin. Xiao Chun suddenly understood and said, "So that's how it is. Big Brother Yin, please come inside. I still haven't properly thanked you for saving my friends and brothers." Yinja waved his hand in refusal and said, "It's just a small matter, just something that happened in passing. It's not worth mentioning. I didn't come here for this." "Here." Right after Yinja spoke, he tossed out the Scarlet Blood War banner. Xiao Chun stretched out his hand and gently caught it. Buzz! The war banner instantly unfurled, flapping loudly in the wind. A feeling of a bloodline connection came from the Scarlet Blood War banner. Back then, he had held the war flag and fought against the powerhouses of the Divine Shield Legion. After obtaining the Scarlet Blood War banner's acknowledgement, although the war banner had not recognized him as its master yet, this feeling of being connected by blood, like an arm, continued. A bleak and domineering aura emanated from Xiao Chen's body. The flapping war banners made the surrounding wind even louder. A strong wind blew on the bow of the warship, causing the clouds in the surroundings to tremble slightly. It conjured a strange phenomenon of fighting for supremacy and a long flag in the wind. Yin Zhi chanted softly, "My name is Qi Shui. I have a body of scarlet iron, and my blood is burning hot. I have been up and down for half of my life, wandering from place to place. I have been invincible for half of my life, and I have been fearless. My body is like a sword, unyielding and unyielding. My heart is like the sun and moon, shining for 10,000 years. My body is like a mountain, spanning tens of thousands of miles. My eyes are like the stars, the sky is dark. I cover the sky with one hand and proclaim myself an emperor with the other." As the Scarlet Blood Pirate King spoke his last words, the Scarlet Blood War banner burned with a faint scarlet flame, looking even more tyrannical than before. "Pa pa pa!" Yanja clapped his hands and praised. "What a great Scarlet Blood Pirate King! Even after his death, his will is still so strong." Thinking back to his life, it was truly admirable and filled with emotions. Young Master Xiao is truly a young hero. To think that you managed to obtain the acknowledgement of the Scarlet Blood War banner. This inn also admires you. This mysterious phenomenon happened in the time it took for Xiao Chun to take a breath. It was purely something that happened automatically after Yin Zhe received the war banner. With a gentle wave, Xiao Chun put away the war banner. Without changing his expression, he said, "Big brother Yin, you even returned a treasure like the Scarlet Blood War banner. This also makes Xiao Chun feel admiration." "You are too polite." Yin just smiled faintly and did not deny it. "Goodbye then. I have an appointment with the Pirate Hall's Hall Master, so I will not disturb you any longer." Xiao Chun personally sent Yin Zhe off. As he watched the other party leave, a contemplative light flickered in his eyes. This Yin Zhe really has the air of a major character. To think that he really returned the Scarlet Blood War banner. "This is truly unexpected," the Iron Hand Yama said somewhat ruefully. Xiao Sua's lips twitched as he said, "You fellow, didn't you say that this person would return it? It turns out that you were just consoling me." The Iron Hand Yama smiled and said, "It was just a feeling. Who would not be tempted by a treasure like the Scarlet Blood War banner? Even I would be tempted. I can only say that I ran into a good person this time." "Big brother Xiao, why aren't you saying anything?" Xiao Chun recovered his wits and smiled. "I was wondering when he would return." The others were shocked. Would he return? Xiao Chen's first feeling was that this Yin Zhe was not that simple. However, Xiao Chun could not figure out Yin Zhe's character for now. After sending the Black Scimitar to be modified, Xiao Chun and the other members of the Black Scimitar rented a courtyard in the Pirate Hall. Inside the cultivation room, Xiao Chun thought hard. In the end, he gave up on advancing to Star Venerate. He needed a turning point to break through. Such a breakthrough was simply too casual. Although Xiao Chun was currently at peak major primal core realm, his various aspects were still very malleable. There was no rush to break through. The modification of the Black Scimitar took half a month, using up 10 million Spirit Jades. Most of the Spirit Jades came from the Wolf King's compensation. Xiao Chun did not spend much himself. The Black Scimitar was already a peak 5-star weapon. Furthermore, with the immemorial Demon Soul formation, the Black Scimitar could rival a regular meteor pirate ship. For half a month, Xiao Chun used it all to temper his saber techniques. After obtaining the starting stance of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique, Xiao Chun planned to comprehend a saber technique from it. Just like Zhun Yuan's Azura Hell back then, breaking the mundane and resolving the mundane ultimately chose to use breaking the mundane as the foundation. Xiao Chun would create a saber technique that belonged to him around it. This saber technique had a beautiful name, Dreamlike Mundane World. This time, from the moment Xiao Chun created this saber technique, he infused his great Tao energy and soul energy into it. This was very difficult and also the most challenging. After half a month, Xiao Chun had not comprehended a single move. He only had a vague method and a general feeling. Entering a dream with the saber, using a dream as a saber. After half a month, Xiao Chun was about to go on a long journey, using the Iron Blood token to head to a forbidden sea. Yin Zhe arrived. "Ha! Young Master Xiao, after not seeing you for a few days, your air has changed again. This is truly admirable." Yin Zhe came alone, without any attendants or subordinates, appearing very casual. It seemed like this was the case. Whims come when whims come. Xiao Chun smiled and said, "Big brother, Yin is too polite. You came at the right time. If you had come one day later, I would have been leaving the Grave Sea." "Leaving the Grave Sea?" Yin Zhe appeared slightly startled. "Are you going to the ash-gray sea of the 7 great forbidden seas?" Xiao Chun nodded. "Yes, the ash-gray sea. According to Elder Tang's deduction, the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure was in the ash-gray sea of the 7 great forbidden seas. It looks like Big Brother Yin knows where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is as well," Xiao Chun asked casually. Yin Zhe was rather straightforward. He said softly, "I was in the ash-gray sea for 30 years and saw the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's last words. With a little deduction, I figured out where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is. That place is called Myriad Star Mountain, a famous land of fortuitous encounters in the ash-gray sea. In the past, rumor had it that it was the remnant of an ancient sect. Unexpectedly, it was where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King left his treasure. Many rank 6 sects use that place as a dangerous land for experiential training for their disciples. Occasionally, the elders of the large sects might even personally charge over. Xiao Chun smiled calmly and said, "It looks like Big Brother Yin understands this myriad star mountain very well. Naturally, after being in the ash-gray sea for 30 years, I know these things. If you need help, you can come and look for me at any time." Yinja took out a jade strip and handed it to Xiao Chun. Then he said, "This jade strip contains my will of soul. If you want to contact me, you just need to use your soul energy to activate the jade strip." Yin Zhu was very generous. After leaving behind the jade strip, he left again. Chapter 1777. As Xiao Chun held the jade strip and looked at Yinja's back, he entered deep thought. Luo Nan, who was at the side, whispered, "This senior Yin is really magnanimous. To think that the Myriad Star Mountain is such a dangerous place. Should we invite him to come with us?" Xiao Suo said seriously, "So, the Myriad Star Mountain is such a place. Many rank 6 sects use it for experiential training. It is somewhat hard to imagine." Sects were categorized into ranks. Rank 7 was the highest. Above that were the various holy lands, the transcendent factions that did not leave the mundane world. A 6th grade sect was already a bona fide supergiant. An elder of a rank 6 sect could easily flatten the entire grave sea without any effort. Xiao Suo's worry was not without reason. Xiao Chun had interacted with rank 5 sects before. In Dragon Flame City, he had fought with the many rank 5 sect disciples of the Yinwu dynasty. He had even fought with the true inheritors. All of them lost to him. The rank 6 sect disciples might be strong, but they would not be that strong. Xiao Chun did not fear them. What he feared were the rank 6 sect elders. If he ran into them, he would have no chance of victory. Xiao Chun looked at the Iron Hand Yama and asked, "Old Yama, what do you think?" After thinking for a while, the Iron Hand Yama said with some conflict, "There is no way to ask for help. Our strength is not equal. We cannot work together unless we give up most of the benefits. In any case, I do not believe that this Yinja will really help us at all costs after just a few meetings." Elder Tang interjected, "The Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove must be incredibly vast. Even if we only take 1% of it, we will still be able to gain a lot and obtain significant fortuitous encounters." However what? The Iron Hand Yama asked. Elder Tang hesitated for a while before saying, "However, what if the other party burns the bridge after crossing it and does not give us even 1%? We will not have the strength to deal with him." "That can't be. I don't think that Senior Yin is that kind of person. If he were, he would not have saved us the first time we met. The first time we met did not involve any major benefits. It is hard to say what happens next." Everyone had their own opinions, and the discussion went on endlessly. The Iron Hand Yama, Elder Tang, and the others split into 2 factions. These 2 veterans did not believe in the so-called good things in the world. Everything was possible when it came to benefits. Luo Nan, Fei and Xiao Suo felt that they could trust Yinja, so they invited him to Myriad Star Mountain. "Young Master Xiao, what do you think?" Only then did the others remember that Xiao Chun hadn't spoken a word, so they hurriedly looked at him. Xiao Chen's eyes were solemn as he said, "This person is not normal." "What?" It was fine if he didn't speak, but the moment he did, Xiao Chen's words were shocking, causing everyone to be extremely surprised. "Say, who can remain so calm after hearing about the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure? Calm and unruffled, without the slightest hint of agitation or excitement. Is there such a person?" Xiao Chen's question immediately caused the Iron Hand Yama, Xiao Suo, and the others to exchange glances. Naturally, there are such people. Once their strength reaches a certain level, they will not care about the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasures. However, what does he count for? He is just a late-stage star venerate. How can he be so calm? Fei Er's expression changed slightly, and she asked softly, "Then he was pretending?" Xiao Chen nodded silently. "This person is very scary, too shrewd and scheming. He knows our every move like the back of his hand. Of all times, he came just as we were about to leave, coincidentally appearing. After that, He inadvertently told us how dangerous the Myriad Star Mountain is and what kind of factions surround it. He clearly wants to explore the Myriad Star Mountain with us. However, he's trying to scare us off, wanting us to go and beg him ourselves. The expressions of Luo Nan, Fei and Xiao Suo immediately changed. They thought about it. Yin just said that that place was too dangerous, so they wanted to invite him to explore the Myriad Star Mountain with them. They had fallen for his trap and scheme. Xiao Suo thought hard and said, "However, I can't figure out why he thinks so highly of us. Given his strength, he actually does not need to care too much about us. Right now, even if everyone on the warship worked together, they would not be a match for him. At best, Xiao Chun could barely protect himself and flee from him. To them, a late-stage star venerate was already an extremely terrifying existence." Whoosh! Xiao Chun stretched out his hand and summoned out the Scarlet Blood War banner. Perhaps it is because of this. Back then, when Xiao Chun first met Yin Zhe, he felt that the other party was testing him. This was because Yin Zhe could not obtain the Scarlet Blood War banner's recognition. He could only use the Scarlet Blood War banner as a weapon. Given that, although Yin Zhe had the Scarlet Blood War banner, it would not be of much use in the treasure trove. That day, when the other party saw the war banner in Xiao Chen's hand, he instantly unfurled it and triggered a mysterious phenomenon. Xiao Chen had guessed that the other party would come again. If Xiao Chen could not obtain the Scarlet Blood War banner's recognition, the other party would definitely snatch it back. Upon hearing Xiao Chen's explanation, Luo Nan, Fei and the others felt their hair stand on end. The Iron Hand Yama was rather normal. Before benefits, how could he have any poise or emotions? After fighting in the ash-gray sea for so many years, if he were really so benevolent, he would have been eaten up long ago. If he was really so benevolent, I'm afraid he would have been eaten long ago and wouldn't have been able to hold his current position. What should we do? For a moment, the group found themselves in a dilemma, unable to make up their minds. After being schemed against by such a strong enemy, every step they took felt like there was a sword at their backs, like they could fall into the deep abyss at any moment. Xiao Chun was rather calm. We'll beat them at their own game. On the other side, after Yin Zhe returned to his residence, the core members of the Iron Horn Pirate Group started asking questions. After hearing Yin Zhe's explanation, they all revealed confused and surprised expressions. "Captain, are we just going to let them go like that?" "Indeed. That concerns the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure." The Scarlet Blood Pirate King was a legendary pirate king. It is hard to imagine how vast the treasure he left behind is. If we can obtain it, it might be possible for the Iron Horn Pirate Group to become a legend. The few subordinates were incredibly excited, and some were even more anxious. They immediately asked for permission to capture Xiao Chun and the others. Yin just smiled faintly. There are 3 strategies: the best strategy, the middle strategy, and the worst strategy. Your method of using brute force is the worst strategy of all. How can that Xiao Chun submit so easily? Even if you can use his friends to threaten him, it will be hard to guarantee that he will fight to the death. At that time, the losses outweigh the gains, and the losses will be even greater. But we can't just let them go like that, right? The old man who sold the Dragon Shadow Condor Wing Bone to Xiao Chen said, feeling confused. Yin Zhe was very confident. He smiled unhurriedly and said, "He will come back and look for me in less than 2 hours." What they really leave? Someone asked, still feeling dissatisfied. Yin Zhe replied indifferently, "I have my own backup plans. The Ash-Gray Sea is not a peaceful place. I will make them suffer a little, and they will still take the initiative to come and look for me. The best way to manage people is to attack their minds. I want them to work for me wholeheartedly and even feel grateful to me." After a while, someone came to report that Xiao Chun sought an audience. Yin Zhe revealed a faint smile. The core members of the Iron Horn Pirate Group immediately felt that their captain was unfathomable and had great foresight. Captain is truly a godly person. Every step that Xiao Chun takes is within Captain's calculations. Indeed, it is as Captain said. He really came. Yin Zhe waved his hand and said, "Don't give the game away. Come with me to meet him." In the hall, Yin Zhe received Xiao Chun seriously. Young Master Xiao, what brings you here? Xiao Chen pretended to think for a while. Then he said somewhat embarrassedly, I would like to invite Big Brother Yin to come with me to the Myriad Star Mountain and take care of it. Of course, if there are any gains, I will definitely thank you generously. Yinja revealed a troubled expression as he said, I'm afraid that I cannot do so even though I have the heart. Xiao Chen asked curiously why. Yinja explained, I will not be able to leave the Grave Sea for the next half month. I still have many old friends that I have yet to meet. Once I leave the Grave Sea this time, I will probably not come back again. I really do not want to waste this opportunity. Xiao Chen felt surprised, but he could not force the issue. After chatting for a while, he took his leave. Captain, he already delivered himself to us. Why did you not agree? After Xiao Chen left, the others in the hall revealed confused expressions once more. Yinja said indifferently, Don't worry. Everything is under control. It is hard to guarantee that he is not here to test us. Firstly, my answer can dispel his suspicions. Secondly, if I casually agree, it will be hard for him to understand my importance. After he suffers, I will send him charcoal in his hour of need. Only then will he truly be grateful to you. Yinja's words immediately won the admiration of Yinja's subordinates. They simply did not expect their captain to be so scheming. Outside the courtyard, Xiao Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly before leaving. You already saw through me, yet you're still acting. In that case, I will continue acting with you. Chapter 1778. Life is like a play. It all depends on acting skills. Xiao Chen did not have a good way to deal with this Yinja at the moment, so he could only continue acting with the other party. Firstly, the Ironhorn Pirate Group was very powerful. Yinja's cultivation was even more unfathomable. He was at least a late-stage Star Venerate. Whether it was a small perfection late-stage Star Venerate, a great perfection late-stage Star Venerate, or a peak late-stage Star Venerate, he knew nothing and could not feel it at all. This was a terrifying enemy that could destroy the Black Cutlass in an instant. Under his generous appearance, there was a heart as vicious as a poisonous scorpion. It would be a huge mistake to be fooled by his appearance and think that he could just walk away. He wasn't afraid of the other party acting, but he was afraid that the other party wouldn't be willing to act and would resort to forceful means. That Xiao Chen really couldn't do anything about it. He could only allow himself to be slaughtered. It was unfortunate to be targeted by such a person. The situation was much more dangerous than it seemed. However, since he liked to act, it was exactly what Xiao Chen wanted. For the time being, he would play dumb, pretend to be infected, pretend to be schemed against. What the Black Cutlass in him needed was time. Xiao Chen believed that as time passed, the balance of power would slowly tip in his favor. Back at the Black Cutlass, Elder Tang quickly asked, How is it? Xiao Chen smiled and said, It's okay, he refused. You refused? In that case, wouldn't we have misunderstood him? Elder Tang was slightly surprised. The others were also quite surprised. The corners of Xiao Chen's mouth curled into a mocking smile. He's just playing hard to get. This person's methods are really extraordinary. However, it does not matter. We just need to put on a good show with him. I do need such help for the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure. The chess game was unpredictable. Yinja wanted to use Xiao Chen as a chess piece. Since that was the case, Xiao Chen might as well beat him at his own game and make good use of him. Come, let's go to the Ash Gray Sea. Using the Iron Blood token, Xiao Chen successfully met the Pirate Hall's Hall Master, an old man with unfathomable strength. The feeling he gave Xiao Chen was actually much better than Yinja. The Pirate Alliance was very mysterious. For it to be able to exist openly for so long, it definitely had many outstanding aspects. If the Wolf King Zhang Hengchuan was the overlord of the Grave Sea on the surface, then this old man was the Grave Sea Monarch in the dark. However, the Pirate Hall had always been neutral. It would never seek revenge for pirate groups or start a feud with the Divine Shield Army or sections. It felt like the Pirate Hall did not have a strong presence. It was more like a large chamber of commerce that knew how to make money. Anyone, even if they were not pirates, could trade treasures, purchase materials, and auction items in the Pirate Hall. Furthermore, Even if it was a disciple of a righteous sect who came to register as a pirate, the pirate hall would not ask about it, simply ignoring it. His attitude was rather ingenious. Even so, no matter how weak the pirate halls in the Grave Sea were, they would not be able to survive. The Divine Shield Army and the Bloodsword Army did not dare to target the pirate hall. This was a taboo. No one dared to comply. Captain Shao, are you sure you want to use the Iron Blood token to head to the Ash Gray Sea? It is not good for you to go to the Ash Gray Sea with your strength. Why don't you wait a few more years? The old man gave Shao Chun some face, not saying that only death awaited him if he went to the Ash Gray Sea. He only said that it was not good and that he would go later. I've already made up my mind. Senior, please help me. It's not really help. The Iron Blood token is issued by the Pirate Hall in the first place. I will follow the instructions of whoever holds the Iron Blood token. When the old man saw how determined Shao Chun was, he did not say anything more. The old man ferociously clenched his fist and directly crushed the Iron Blood token. Whoosh! Boundless blood flowed out of the old man's hand. It was like a river of blood had appeared in his hand, pouring out blood continuously. Soon, the blood piled up, drowning Shao Chun, Shao Saw, and even the Black Cutlass. In the next moment, the blood turned into an unending stream of scarlet light soaring into the sky. The scarlet light shot towards the sky above the pirate hall. Stars flickered above the pirate hall, and a formation appeared out of nowhere, absorbing all the scarlet light. The light disappeared in a flash. Many people saw this scene, but did not know what happened. Captain, they're going. The Ironhorn pirate group's people immediately called out. However, they were no strangers to this. Yenja showed a grave expression as he said, "Follow them." Right after Yenja spoke, an Iron Blood token appeared in his hand, and he crushed it. After a while, another beam of scarlet light soared into the sky, entering the mysterious starry heavens formation above the pirate hall. The Ironhorn pirate group followed. Indeed, it was as Shao Chun expected. This Yenja would not remain indifferent to the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure. Furthermore, Yenja would not let Shao Chun's group escape Yenja's grasp. Back then, when Shao Chun obtained that jade strip, he knew that this jade strip could let him contact the other party. It could also let the other party know where Shao Chun was at all times. If Shao Chun tossed it away, then Yenja would know Shao Chun's plan. Then, Yenja would immediately use force to make Shao Chun work for him. Unfortunately, Yenja was not strong enough. Even if he knew the other party's plan, Shao Chun could not toss away the jade strip. He could only beat Yenja at his own game. The moment Shao Chun and the others were submerged in blood, they lost consciousness. When they reappeared, they were already dead. When they reappeared, the Black Cutlass appeared in a new sea. One of the 7 great forbidden seas, the Ash Gray Sea. Captain, the seawater is corroding the first layer of defensive formations. It will not last for another hour. The level of space is too terrifying. A few of the internal components of the pirate ship have been crushed. If we do not think of a way to deal with this, the ship will disintegrate in half a day. Captain, there's a ferocious beast swimming over in front. The moment Shao Chun's voice landed, bad news arrived. Everyone had no time to appreciate the vastness of the vast Ash Gray Sea. Shao Suo was very busy. The entire Black Cutlass worked quickly, doing its best to keep the pirate ship moving normally in the Ash Gray Sea. Don't panic. According to the previous plan, the Black Cutlass should have no problem moving normally in the Ash Gray Sea. Shao Chun was strangely calm, calming Shao Suo's somewhat anxious heart. Shao Suo nodded and said, "Right. It is just that we suddenly came to the Ash Gray Sea and need some time to adjust. We can deal with the other problems. However, that ferocious beast is somewhat problematic." Shao Suo pointed to a strange bird that appeared on the water screen in the captain's quarters. However, Shao Chun smiled and said, "It came at a good time. The immemorial demon soul formation happens to need some nourishment." Right after Shao Chun spoke, Shao Chun left the pirate ship with a few flashes. Whoosh! What strong spatial pressure! The Forbidden Sea truly lives up to its reputation. Xiao Chun could already move freely in the Grave Sea. However, when he arrived at the surface of the ash-gray sea, he felt pressure. There seemed to be many invisible hands on the surface of the sea, pulling on Xiao Chun's feet and pulling him into the sea. The surging seawater seemed to possess a demonic nature, deterring one from looking at it for long. The seawater here was definitely much more terrifying than the seawater of the Grave Sea. "Open!" Xiao Chun shouted, and the vital qi in his body swam through his dragon veins. All the dragon bones in his body crackled, sounding like a terrifying dragon roar. The moment Xiao Chun brought out his small perfection divine dragon war body, he resisted all the pressure. Xiao Chun looked into the distance. There was a huge scarlet bird with scarlet feathers covering its body. It was nearly 1 kilometer long. A demon blood vulture. Xiao Chun's eyes lit up. He was somewhat reluctant to use it as nourishment for the immemorial demon soul formation. Even the ash-gray sea, such mutated beasts were extremely rare. They possessed a demonic nature and had strong growth potential, able to evolve continuously. It would not be strange for several demon blood vultures to evolve into existences like the underworld ghost bird or the dragon shadow condor. The prerequisite was that the demon blood vulture had to continuously absorb all sorts of demonic nature. If Elder Tang managed to tame it, it would definitely become a great weight for the Black Cutlass. When that demon blood vulture felt Xiao Chun's gaze, it could not help releasing its demonic nature. To think that an insignificant human wanted to tame it. He truly overestimated himself. Chapter 1779. Demon Blood Vulture. The demon blood vulture before Xiao Chun was already close to middle stage star venerate. Furthermore, it was born and raised in the ash-gray sea. It held a great advantage over the newcomer Xiao Chun. The demon blood vulture exuded a strong demonic nature. When it spread its wings, a surging demonic might spread out, causing the waves to surge and roar, looking very awe-inspiring. When Xiao Chun saw the situation, he thought to himself, "I heard that many demonic Tao experts like to rear this bird. On one hand, it suits my nature. On the other hand, I can use my demonic nature to nourish this bird, bringing out the best in each other." It looks like the rumors are true. The demon blood vulture is indeed full of demonic nature, ferocious and cruel. However, since it runs into me today, it has to be obedient and wait to be captured. Xiao Chun watched as the demon blood vulture charged over at lightning speed, its sharp claws looking like it wanted to tear him in half. Kassier. Just as Xiao Chun thought this, the demon blood vulture arrived before Xiao Chun, and a berserk shock wave surged out. Xiao Chun immediately felt a huge pressure. His physical body felt like a fallen leaf about to get swept away. The demon blood vulture is controlling the wind. If Xiao Chun could not stabilize himself and got swept away by the strong wind, he would be at the mercy of the demon blood vulture, unable to do anything about it. With a thought, Xiao Chun silently circulated the ice feather divine incantation. Immediately, snow flew everywhere, and cold qi spread out. Under the influence of the boundless cold qi, the demon blood vulture's speed decreased significantly. The originally terrifying strong wind immediately became much gentler. Xiao Chun smiled coldly and fanned his sleeves. Bang! 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 With this casual fanning, Xiao Chun drove 20 cauldron force, which surged out like a tsunami. It instantly scattered the other party's strong wind. The demon blood vulture, which was approaching Xiao Chun, immediately found it extremely difficult to take another step forward. Left without a choice, the demon blood vulture spread its wings and circled around before diving down again. Whoosh! 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 The demon blood vulture opened its beak and spat out thousands upon thousands of scarlet demonic arrows containing the demonic qi it had cultivated for hundreds of years. If an ordinary person came in contact with these arrows, they would immediately die, corroding into a skeleton. Xiao Chun did not dare to underestimate it. Even with his physical body, he did not dare to touch this darn thing. Hua! Shao Chun drew his saber from its scabbard and slashed out. This saber strike contained great Tao energy and soul energy that Shao Chun could already control freely. As the saber light slashed out, all the arrows formed by demonic chi were destroyed. However, the demon blood vulture took advantage of this opening to bully Shao Chun. When it flapped its wings, space seemed to fold. Shao Chun was in the middle of it, unable to control himself. The two forces pressed against each other, causing him to feel a sense of danger. The demon blood vulture quickly folded its wings, wanting to crush Shao Chun to death. What great strength! Shao Chun did not panic. A swastika appeared between his eyebrows. Buddhist light immediately enveloped his body, and the overbearing and ferocious Buddhist light swept out in all directions. The demonic nature, spreading from the demon blood vulture, immediately burned and purified like fire. The demon blood vulture cried out miserably. Buddhist might. This was what gave Shao Chun the confidence to deal with this demon blood vulture. If it were another ferocious beast of the same grade, Shao Chun would have some trouble dealing with it. The demon blood vulture, a ferocious beast with a demonic nature as its foundation, was much easier to deal with. Of course, this was only relative. If this demon blood vulture was stronger, the Buddhist might would not have any effect on it. Like water and fire, they restrained each other. Taking advantage of the demon blood vulture's miserable shriek, Shao Chun executed resolving the mundane. Boom! An eternal and inextinguishable saber light appeared. Shao Chun, who had destroyed the 6 desires, sent out his strongest saber strike. The strong aura immediately pushed back the demon blood vulture and averted the danger of being shocked to death by its wings. When the boundless saber light landed, a long wound appeared on the demon blood vulture's body. Blood continuously flowed out. It immediately wailed and flapped its wings as it fled frantically. To think that it still has such strong life force. Shao Chun's figure flashed, and he landed on the demon blood vulture's head. The demon blood vulture remained unconvinced. It tried to fling Shao Chun off, doing its best to struggle. Shao Chun sheathed his saber, and the top of the scabbard landed heavily on Shao Chun's head. This shook the demon blood vulture's soul. Its injuries worsened. Then, Shao Chun sent a strand of spiritual sense into the untamable demon blood vulture's mind. Be obedient, or else I will take your life. After a few clashes, the demon blood vulture was at a complete disadvantage. It was forced to carry Shao Chun back to the Black Cutlass. The expressions of the Black Cutlass's crew members immediately changed drastically. When they saw Shao Chun above, they revealed shocked expressions. Captain actually subdued this ferocious beast. Elder Tang showed shock on his face. Unexpectedly, not only did Shao Chun defeat this demon blood vulture, but he even subdued it. Whoosh! A white light flashed, and Shao Chun landed beside Elder Tang. Senior Tang, I'll leave the matter of completely taming this demon blood vulture to you. Elder Tang showed a troubled expression as he said, Young Master Shao, although I come from the beast governing sect, I have not reached the level where I can tame a star venerate level ferocious beast. Furthermore, the beast governing sect's beast taming method is to tame it from a young age, using sound to control it. Very few forcefully subdued it like young Master did. What Shao Chun did was not taming, but subduing. He could not nurture the demon blood vulture's loyalty at all. Furthermore, with Shao Chun's strength, there was no need to think about taming a ferocious beast. Naturally, I know. Come to my cultivation room later. Shao Chun did not explain much. He walked over to Shao Suo and asked, How's the situation? Shao Suo smiled and replied, Everything is back to normal. Our Black Cutlass can rival a 6-star pirate ship. There should be no problem navigating the ash-gray sea. Shao Chun frowned and said, Just navigating the ash-gray sea is not enough. When Senior Gue forged this ship, he used the immemorial demon soul formation as its core. All this while you have not put in the effort to study this immemorial demon soul formation. Naturally, I know what Big Brother is talking about. However, Shao Suo found it hard to speak of his troubles, finding it hard to explain. Xiao Chun patted Xiao Sua's shoulder and said, I understand what you mean. The immemorial demon soul formation's demonic nature is too deep, too evil. You are afraid of becoming its puppet. Yes, that is the principle. Leave it to me, then. Xiao Chun felt very confident. As he looked at the vast ash-gray sea and the demon blood vultures circling around, he felt very carefree. What the Black Cutlass lacked was time. That Yinja thought that he could control the Black Cutlass and crush it at any time. Now that the sky was high and the sea was wide, this was the time for Xiao Chun to show off his abilities in the ash-gray sea. Xiao Chun took out Yinja's jade strip and smiled coldly to himself. So what if you know where I am? After about 7 minutes, Elder Tang discovered that the Iron Hand Yama was in the cultivation room as well. However, he did not see Xiao Chun. Old Yama, why do you think young Master Xiao called us over? Elder Tang felt somewhat nervous as he looked at the Iron Hand Yama in confusion. The Iron Hand Yama drank wine and smiled. Little brother Xiao Chun has been planning this trip to the ash-gray sea for a long time. Now that he is here, he should be carrying out his plan. What do you mean? The Iron Hand Yama smiled mysteriously. Did you not notice that little brother Xiao Chun did not panic at all after he saw through that Yinja's plan? He must have planned this long ago and is not afraid at all. Otherwise, given his character, he would definitely travel alone and not bring us along to take the risk. Elder Tang's expression changed slightly as if he thought of something. Just at this moment, Xiao Chun walked out. He nodded slightly to the two before taking a seat. Xiao Chun looked at Elder Tang and said, Senior Tang, this is a beast-taming cultivation technique that I just copied. Take a look. Beast-taming art? Elder Tang felt slightly surprised. Many beast-taming cultivation techniques in the world had such names. Just from the names, one could not make out anything special. After looking at it for a while, Elder Tang's expression changed drastically. This is the ancient beast-taming abode's beast-taming cultivation technique. Young Master Xiao, where did you obtain it? Where did Xiao Chun get it? Naturally, he found it in the scripture pavilion in the underground dragon city. He also obtained the ice feather divine incantation there. Xiao Chun's memory was astonishing. He would not forget any cultivation technique that he had seen. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chun found a cultivation technique related to beast taming. This beast taming art was created by an expert. It was a unique method that allowed one to carve formations in the minds of subdued, ferocious beasts. The formation merged with the soul and bloodline. Not only could it control the ferocious beasts, but could also control the descendants of the ferocious beasts. By relying on this cultivation technique, any disciple of the beast-taming abode could easily control hundreds of ferocious beasts during the ancient era. The strong ones could even control thousands or tens of thousands of ferocious beasts. There was more to the beast-taming art. When cultivated to a high level, one could continuously modify formations to strengthen the ferocious beasts they controlled. How is it? With this beast-taming art, Elder Tang, are you confident of taming that demon blood vulture? Elder Tang laughed loudly and said, It will be easy. Young Master Xiao, rest assured. After obtaining the beast-taming art, Elder Tang felt incredibly excited. He immediately took his leave and started studying it. Now, only Xiao Chun and the Iron Hand Yama remained in the cultivation room. Old Yama, you are the most experienced on the Black Cutlass. Do you know why I only handed this beast-taming art to Elder Tang after arriving at the ash-gray sea? The Iron Hand Yama smiled faintly and said, Our every move in the pirate hall cannot escape that Yinja's eyes and ears. Any sign of trouble will startle him. At that time, we might end up helping him for nothing. Xiao Chun nodded and praised the Iron Hand Yama. He truly lived up to his reputation. Actually, the Yinja is nothing much. I have never paid too much attention to him. If we treat him as our opponent, then our vision is too narrow. A brilliant light flashed in Xiao Chun's eyes. He had seen true experts before and received the inheritance of the faux god flame. His vision was already extraordinary. However, we do need to use him on the trip to the Myriad Star Mountain. I'm afraid that even more incredible people will appear. It will be best for him to be our vanguard. At the same time, we can probe his limits. The Iron Hand Yama said in a gratified manner. It looks like little brother, Xiao Chen already has a card up his sleeve. My previous worries were for naught. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and took out a secret manual for the Iron Hand Yama. These are the cultivation techniques and martial techniques that I chose for you. They are both medial grade earth ranked. You will need them when you advance to Star Venerate. The Iron Hand Yama received them and took a look. His heart immediately thumped heavily. They were indeed medial grade earth rank cultivation techniques and martial techniques. Even in a rank 6 sect, such cultivation techniques would require extremely high contributions before one could read them. Xiao Chen casually took out 2 books. This was really a big move. There is no need to thank me. The ash-gray sea is vast and full of danger. If we're not careful, we will get wiped out. However, this is also the best opportunity for our Black Cutlass to rise up. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is just one of them. Chapter 1780. When the Iron Hand Yama heard Xiao Chen's words, he immediately felt a sense of lofty aspiration spread in his heart. Xiao Chen's words were somewhat hot-blooded, inspiring encouragement. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove was just one. In that case, how high was Xiao Chen's goal? In the end, these people were just ants in this great thousand realms. The things they saw and the things they experienced were just the tip of the iceberg of the great thousand realms. However, Xiao Chen was different. He had inherited the faux god flame. In the memories of that faux god senior, he had inherited the faux god flame. In the memories of that faux god senior, Xiao Chen felt the vastness of this world, the true strength of those peak experts. Plucking the stars and grabbing the moon was no myth. In the eyes of those experts, it was just a trivial matter. There was the even more mysterious true god realm. That was a realm that even faux god seniors yearned for. Only by becoming a true god could one have an unlimited lifespan, able to exist forever with a world never to be destroyed. The Iron Hand Yama performed a cupped fist salute and said, I'll enter closed-door cultivation right away. I definitely will not let down little brother Xiao Chen's expectations. Xiao Chen nodded and said, You have been accumulating at peak major primal core realm for many years. Now that you have broken through to Star Venerate, it proves your potential. You are no weaker than the experts of those large sections. You just lack fortuitous encounters and resources. What's even rarer is your experience of killing. Those sect experts simply cannot compare to you. When the Iron Hand Yama heard this, he felt encouraged, like he had been reborn. Originally, he had thought that reaching peak late-stage Star Venerate in this life would be the end of him. However, when he heard Xiao Chen's words, he felt that he could still improve further. He had set his sights too low. Elder Tang and the Iron Hand Yama were currently the 2 strongest people on the Black Cutlass. Naturally, Xiao Chen had to nurture them well. As for Xiao Suo, Luo Nan, and Fei, Xiao Chen had made preparations as well. However, these people's cultivations were not high enough. The cultivation techniques and secret manuals that they prepared could not be used yet. This was especially so for Xiao Suo. Xiao Chen had even higher hopes for him. Right now, Xiao Suo was at the juncture of breaking through to Star Venerate. Xiao Chen hoped that Xiao Suo could figure out his own Tao before giving him help. Once he succeeded, it would not be difficult for them to overtake Elder Tang and the Iron Hand Yama, even though they started later. His future potential would be even greater. After a moment of silence, Xiao Chen began to think about his path in the cultivation room. He was wondering if he could forcefully break through the 11th layer of the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation. Xiao Chen's original plan was to smoothly break through to the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation's 11th layer after he became a Star Venerate. That way, there would be no risk and it would be extremely safe. But the more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was unreliable. After the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation reached the 7th layer, a lightning tribulation would descend with every layer. If the lightning tribulation could be safely passed without any challenge, the lightning tribulation would not be of any help to him at all. In the Kunlun realm, Shao Chun had been able to surpass his potential and break through his limits many times. It could be said that it had something to do with the lightning tribulations. Now that he had come to this great thousand world, he had neglected the essentials and focused on trifles. It was really a little too clever for his own good. I need to break through to the 11th layer of the Purple Thunder Divine incantation before I become a Star Venerate. Coincidentally, my Thunder Dao has reached a bottleneck. If I can break it, I might even be able to grasp the Thunder Great Dao. Shao Chun said softly. The light in his eyes grew increasingly brighter. The clouds parted, and his eyes became clear. Before Shao Chun obtained the Tyrant Saber, he already had extremely high attainments in the Thunder domain. After obtaining the Tyrant Saber, his understanding of the Thunder Dao deepened. After using the Tyrant Saber's Thunder Great Dao several times, his comprehension deepened and he benefited greatly. Actually, Shao Chun had a similar experience in the Kunlun realm. The facts proved that one could not purposely avoid lightning tribulations. There is a world of difference in the benefits obtained from enduring lightning tribulations and clearing them without any threat. However, this vast ash-gray sea looked quiet and uninhabited, looking boundlessly vast. However, it was hard to predict how many dangers hid under the water. It was not that easy to find a place to take the tribulation. I should go and take a look at the immemorial demon soul formation first. Shao Chun collected his thoughts and entered the next layer, arriving before the immemorial demon soul formation. Sometimes, Shao Chun wondered what Senior Gui's intentions were when he placed this terrifying formation on the black cutlass back then. This formation was strong, strange, and evil. No one dared to think too deeply about it. Actually, the entire layout of the black cutlass used the immemorial demon soul formation as the core. No matter how it was designed later, it was all within Senior Gui's framework. No matter how much it changed, it was still the same. However, Shao Chun and the other crew members of the Black Cutlass would not use the immemorial demon soul formation unless it was a critical moment. The reason was that this formation was too evil. Actually, using the flesh and soul of cultivators to replenish this formation was the fastest way to light up the pearls. However, the people on the ship, including Shao Chun, did not have such thoughts. Once they made an exception and enjoyed the benefits, they would not be able to stop. This was no different from how the demonic Dao did things. Sooner or later, it would affect their hearts. The scarlet demonic formation was profound and complicated. The leaping scarlet light covered the entire formation in layers of thick scarlet mist. Shao Chun had been suppressing it, so the scarlet mist was not as exaggerated. Otherwise, the incredibly evil and demonic blood mist would have covered the entire black cutlass. Whoosh! Shao Chun stretched out his hand and grasped the formation plate at the core. The scarlet mist covering the formation immediately scattered. The immemorial demon soul formation stopped operating, and the entire black cutlass was affected. The various defenses of the ship weakened significantly. A cold sensation spread out, and Shao Chun felt like he had fallen into an ice cave. His body no longer had any warmth. An evil aura invaded Shao Chun's body, spreading throughout it. It is much stronger than before. Shao Chun had a strong will. Naturally, he would not be affected. With a thought, he removed the tyrannical evil aura from his body. Shao Chun flipped the formation plate over and saw 4.5 pearls on the Yazi beast's chest, looking exceptionally scary. If all 18 pearls were lit up, who knew how strong it would be? The Yazi beast looked like it would fly out at any moment. It stared at Shao Chun ferociously, not treating him as its master at all. Shao Chun remained indifferent. No spells would work against such an evil thing. There was no shortcut to restrain it. One could only be stronger than it. As long as one was stronger than it, they would not be able to do anything. Shao Chun casually waved his hand, and the formation plate returned to its original position. Then, the hazy scarlet chi rose up again. Shao Chun entered deep thought. This scarlet chi that leaked out was filled with evil, containing an incredibly pure demonic nature. This was a huge, hidden danger of the Black Cutlass. The Black Cutlass had to be careful at all times to suppress it. If the demon blood vulture absorbed this scarlet chi, it could resolve the hidden danger of the Black Cutlass and increase its strength at the same time. With a casual wave, a suction appeared in Xiao Chen's hand, instantly absorbing a small portion of the scarlet chi. Whoosh! 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 After a while, Xiao Chen left the pirate ship with a few flashes and arrived in the air. At this moment, the demon blood vulture was injured. It was currently curled up on the Spirit Beast platform behind the Black Cutlass. The Spirit Beast platform looked like it was only 100 square meters. However, it was actually an incredibly vast world inside. Such a spatial formation was expensive to build and even more expensive to maintain. Many six-star pirate ships could not maintain it. However, Xiao Chun did not lack spirit jades. Naturally, he could build one. There were 2 cold steel eagles and some other ferocious beasts that Elder Tang tamed in the Spirit Beast platform. The demon blood vulture dominated the area, and no other ferocious beasts dared to approach it. Feeling Xiao Chen's gaze, this demon blood vulture opened its eyes. It remained unruly, looking at Xiao Chun with murderous intent. It is indeed very demonic. Even now, it is still thinking of how to eat me. Xiao Chun could not help smiling when he saw the demon blood vulture from the air. There were burn marks from the Buddhist light on the demon blood vulture's body. Its originally beautiful scarlet feathers no longer had their luster. They looked like wild chicken feathers, dispirited and listless. Xiao Chun waved his hand, and a scarlet light shot out. The scarlet mist that the demon blood vulture absorbed in the immemorial demon soul formation entered its body. The demon blood vulture immediately trembled, and its curled-up body suddenly unfurled. The demon blood vulture's dispirited aura was swept away, and its injuries healed quickly. The scarlet feathers covering its body gave off a beautiful scarlet light. The demon blood vulture looked mysterious and noble, as well as a trace of evil. Whoosh! When the demon blood vulture finished absorbing the scarlet light, it soared into the air and charged at Xiao Chun. The demon blood vulture immediately unleashed its demonic nature. The sudden eruption caught everyone off guard. If it were an ordinary person, the demon blood vulture would have torn them to shreds and eaten them alive in the next moment. Xiao Chun snorted coldly, and a golden light suddenly flashed in his eyes. He activated the great desolate divine eyes, and the blue dragon's dragon might spread out from his body. The demon blood vulture's aura trembled, and its speed slowed significantly. However, it still refused to give up and continued charging forward. Xiao Chun spread out his Dao might again. A Dao disc appeared behind Xiao Chun, and the saber Dao's great Dao's might spread out. Hesitation flashed in the demon blood vulture's eyes as it continued charging forward. This great humiliation made it hate Xiao Chun to the bone. After the demon blood vulture recovered from its injuries, its demonic nature immediately erupted. What a great demon blood vulture! You are really rebelling. Xiao Chun raged, and a swastika appeared on his forehead. His Dao might, dragon might, and Buddhist might merged, and his aura reached its peak. Xiao Chun punched ferociously, and 20 cauldron force instantly exploded out. The demon blood vulture, whose aura suffered setbacks, went flying with one punch from Xiao Chun. The dragon might, the Dao might, and the Buddhist might terrified the demon blood vulture. With the 3 combined in 20 cauldron force, the demon blood vulture tumbled back. Xiao Chun somersaulted and landed on the demon blood vulture, which had just stabilized itself. Then, he gently tapped its head with his scabbard. The unruly fellow immediately quietened down. However, the red light in its eyes did not fade. Be more obedient. Riding the demon blood vulture, Xiao Chun started to patrol the surroundings, searching for a suitable place to undergo the tribulation. At the same time, he could hunt ferocious beasts. He still needed to strengthen the immemorial demon soul formation.